I've decided to make it a little, to water it down, meaning the same thing, how to use data to predict your next customer's buying decision. It's the same thing as predictive analytics in data-driven marketing. So, all right, so I just want to make it look a little homely to us. And I believe you will be able to do this after this session. I have about 45 minutes for this session. And my goal for this session is for you to be able to use data to predict your next customer's buying decision. I'm Paul Akinola. I am into business system analytics. I want to focus more on marketing intelligence and analytics. That's what I spend my time doing now. I've spent almost a decade in business development and marketing. And I hope that understanding and those activities I've been involved in will be a blessing to somebody here today, and you will be able to take your marketing, your desire to be a better marketing professional to the next level. All right. So that said, there are a few things that are given in my presentation today. I am using a lot of assumption. So the first assumption is that you have a defined goal for your marketing. You have what you want to achieve. Now, if this is not in place, it might be difficult for you to achieve anything in marketing. The first thing in marketing is you want to define your goal. You want to know that there is no way you will arrive if there is no destination, no matter how fast you move. So you want to have a destination, you want to have a goal. So I said that is a given. I mean, I expect everyone to have that. These assumptions are going to help me to take us into the technical, but not so technical part of predictive analytics that look like that it's a big word, like it's a technical, big grammar. But if we can take some of this given into place, some of this assumption in place, it will help us to achieve all this. So I want us to know that in any marketing project, in any marketing endeavor, you want to have a defined goal. You want to know what you want to achieve, and then you want to know when you achieve it. Is very important so that we don't just go on in circles. Some people believe marketing is forever. Yes, marketing is forever, but you should have goals. You should meet these goals. Then the next thing that is given here is you need to know your why. You see, what and why always drive how. When you know your goals, when you know what you want to achieve, you want to know why you want to do what you want to do. Why do you want to market? Then the next thing is, how do you want to market? I'm taking all this as given because I believe I'm speaking to marketing professionals. I also want to assume that there are some of us that are just coming up, so I have to iterate these things for us to understand. You want to know your goal. You need to know what you want to achieve. Why? Why do you want to market? How do you want to market? Now, one of the things I want to quickly point out here is your values. You need to understand that in this generation, in this age and time, all we do is trading values. There is nothing like just put it out there, somebody will like it, somebody will pick it. The world has become so big and so small that if you're not doing well, your next door neighbor will buy what you're selling from somebody that is 1,000 kilometers away from you, not minding that you're selling the same thing. So now the issue is value-driven marketing. So you want to understand, I want to believe that most of us here, so I will just go through it in a jiffy. Most of us here understand our customer journey. You want to understand, I want to believe that you understand what your customer journey is like. I want to believe that you understand your customer value ladder, because it's all about value. Now, these things frustrate marketers, especially if you're going into anything digital. These things make us feel we don't have return on investment on marketing. I'm not here to talk much about customer journey or your value ladder, but I'm taking this as given. You need to have all these before we go into predictive analytics. Now, if you don't have the budget, your spending on predictive analytics will not give you a good return on investment. You'll be asking yourself, is it worth the while? These things look like the analytics work. So I'm saying it's given that you have it. I'm saying you already know what you want to achieve. You know, when you get there, you can say, I have arrived. If you don't know where you're going, any route will take you there. So you want to know how you want to get there. And that is why we're talking about predictive analytics. You have your value chain, you have your customer journey. You're so sure that when they come in, this is what they will expect. After that, you know the value ladder. When they do this, this is the next thing. When they do this, this is the next. But I need to mention it. All right. This is also given, but I need to mention it. The need factor. You want to tell me in this conference that you understand your need factors. Who? Yesterday, Sergio mentioned this. Who? The personnel. This is too critical. Now, if you don't know who, then, I mean, just stop. You can't assume here. At this point, you can't assume. You can't afford to assume. So you need to know who. Who is this person you want to market to? You can do predictive analytics without who, because predictive analytics is data driven. So who is important. You need to do everything about your who. Demographic, behavioral, who is too important. You need to know the customer so much that you can actually give the customer a name. When you get to that point, you're so sure. If your customer personnel, if the name is Paul, when somebody says Paul, you can give them the data of Paul without thinking. That is when you're ready for predictive analytics. That's why I said it's the background, it's the foundation. You need to have the need factor. If you don't, you say, this is what happened. I say it's given wishes. Many people just wish. I wish I know who. I wish I know when. Now, let me go to when. You need to know when I need what you want to give me. This is when marketing becomes like witchcraftry. You need to know when. You don't want to offer me a brand new car when I just bought one last week. I won't be interested. I'm still in the euphoria of the one I just bought. You want to predict if I am going to buy one. You don't want to give me when I have just finished buying one. This is the power of predictive analytics. This is the background. Timing is so important in predictive analytics that if you miss the timing, then what is prediction? It's all finished. Then you need to know how. How these need factors are so critical to predictive analytics, to you being able to predict what your customer's buying decision is going to be in the next minute, in the next hour, in the next day, in the next month, in the next 6 months, in the next year. You want to know how much am I willing to pay? How do I want it delivered to me? You need to understand all this about your customer. These are given. I will say they are given, but I will also say they are wishes for some marketers because they don't even have an idea. I've had several companies I've worked for and they asked me to do wonder. Paul can do it. Yes, Paul can do it, but without all this in place, I'm just as good as nobody. I can't achieve anything here. So you need to know your who, you need to know your when, you need to know your how. Now I'm going to ask a question. I want us to be a little interactive here. I'm going to ask a question. Is there anyone here that understands your how, your why, your when, your who? Is there anybody? Just give me a yes in a comment section. I want us to know. I want to be sure that I'm dealing with people who are ready for predictive analytics. Just give me a yes in the comment section. You know your how, you know your what. You have your marketing goal defined, crystallized. You have your what, you have your direction. You will know when you get there. You know your how, you know your when, you know your who. Yes, I'm happy. I'm seeing some reactions here. Yes, to some extent. All right. So you said to some extent. Great. All right. Yeah, you may not be absolute. You see, it's a learning path. You may not be absolute. You may not be absolute, but thank you, Zainab. Zainab said yes. Expo said yes. Moses said yes. I'm excited. Good. So if we have this understanding, then we can proceed. Because without having an idea at all, if it's just left in the realm of wishes, you don't have a place you're going. Any route will be good for you. Any route will be okay. So you want to have this when you're dealing with predictive analytics, because predictive analytics has to do with all these factors. Thank you, Oko. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Alexandra. I'm happy to see all this reaction back because it gives me the confidence to go ahead. All right. So I'm going to be giving us two case studies, which is going to drive home what is data-driven marketing. Now, the first case study is brick and mortar. And I intentionally put this as the first case study because I know a lot of us are going to say, okay, data-driven marketing is for those people that are online, and it doesn't really affect those of us who are not online. So there is no big deal. But I want you to understand this case study is a real life case study. That's another thing I want you to know. This is real life. And this happened in America. And I want to use this case study because I find it so fascinating. Of all the case study I've gone through in predictive analytics, this is the most interesting to me because it ended up in a lawsuit. So you understand what I'm saying? This is predictive analytics at the core of it. Now, I'm going to be looking at this case study of a very popular, I wouldn't want to name because I know this slide and this presentation will go to a lot of places, and I don't want to talk about this because they're still in court on this as at the last time I checked. All right, this is a very popular supermarket in the US, and they sell female things, female materials, female goods, and the first thing they went into doing using data is that they want to understand the buying behavior. And I want you to, as I said this, I want you to keep your eye on your own business. I want you to keep your mind on the supermarket you visited yesterday, the one you visited last week, and you're going to start seeing how these things relate to each one of them. Some of you will get to the aha moment when you realize that, oh, they are practicing it actually in the supermarket not far away from me. So this is a brick and mortar example. I put this forward for a reason. I'm going to go to the next example. I'm giving two case studies. The second one is going to be an online case study. But I want you to see this case study, and it's going to be very interesting. All right. So this supermarket want to understand how their customers behave. They want you into the supermarket, and they want to monitor your behavior. So they created a database for you. From your first purchase, they have your name, they have your number, they have the hashed part of your card detail, they likely have your house address, they likely have your email address. Now watch this. They watch what you bought the first time, the second time, the third time. If you are a frequent buyer, they put you in a different bucket. That this guy comes in over and over. They match the distance of your house to the supermarket, wanting to know if the distance from your house to the supermarket is affecting the frequency to the supermarket. They're using data. They're creating data. They're gathering data. So they're matching your behavior to know who you are, to know what you buy, to know what you need. Now watch this. This will give them an idea if you have a particular ailment, because you keep buying drugs or supplements that is pointing towards the ailment. They don't know the ailment. But with time, data will bring out the ailment with almost 85% confidence interval. They will be so sure because you have danced around the same thing over and over and over again that they could predict like a doctor, as if they're consulting for you what exactly is wrong with you and what you're trying to prevent or to protect. All right, so this supermarket kept monitoring the buying behavior of their customers. Now, this caused some little change in the supermarket, and then it excites the buyers. Now, what are the changes? You'll find that the supermarket increased the shelf that is beside the checkout because they have more suggestions at checkout. Why? Because they understand what more women were buying. So they want to suggest to them what they should buy on their way out. They want to suggest what some people did not remember to buy and came back to the supermarket to buy. So you have two receipts in a single visit because you forgot something and you came back to buy it. So they want to make it easy for you and make it easier for them to sell more. They are using data-driven marketing. So with what they have from your receipts, now they rearrange the shelves and brought more suggestion at checkout. Now watch out, your supermarket, you see there are some goods that are just at the checkout. There are reasons why they are there. There are things you just want to pick on your way out. There are things you just want to okay, let me just pick these There are things you buy out of emotion more than out of preparation and knowledge of what you want to buy. This is where emotional intelligence and data-driven marketing marry each other. Now, they're trying to work on your emotions. They know you need this thing. You might have forgotten. They're on the shelf somewhere, but they know that at the checkout, you can just pick it and add it. Now, that's more money for the supermarket. Now, this is another thing they did. They rearrange the shelves. They rearrange the shelves in the supermarket. How did they get to do this? They realized that people who buy A naturally love to buy B. So they brought all B products very close to A products. So you can't easily forget, overlook buying B after buying A. That is the power of correlation. They started doing correlational analysis to see, okay, people that buys A normally buy B, and after 2 weeks, they come back to buy C. So they brought correlation. Now, correlation can be deceptive, I agree, because correlation is not causation. That more accidents happen when there are more sales of umbrella does not mean the sales of umbrella causes accidents. They just correlated. It just means the ground is wet when they buy umbrella and when the cars have accidents. So, but the power of correlation is so beautiful that if you spend enough time on your data, you will be able to create correlations that will increase your sales. So as a marketer, you want to take advantage of the power of correlation. Now, the next thing they want to do is they want to go into predictive analytics. Now, these supermarkets got to this point when they need someone like me. They've been able to monitor the buying behavior of their customers. They'll be able to redesign the supermarket. They'll be able to redesign the checkout stand. They'll be able to redesign what is next to what by using correlation. But they want to be able to do one thing, and that is the power of predictive analytics. They want to be able to know when you will need it and give it to you at that time. Their target is pregnant women. Now, what they want to do is they want to know when these women are on their second trimester. Now, this looks like witchcraft. You're not the husband. You are not the doctor. And you want to know, they want to know when the pregnancy gets to the second trimester. Now, they found out from their own personal research that at this point, women decide to buy things for the babies. The babies they are expecting. And watch this. At this point, the family is geared towards this. And the first person to get the attention of the woman at this point normally takes the money. At this point, pregnant women don't want to drive around to all the supermarkets in the world. They just want to go to one place that they love, one place that they believe will solve their problem, and this preparation, they want to have it. So they did what they call forecasting, time series analysis. It's actually a model. Time series analysis, they did a forecasting. They want to know when are these women at their second trimester. At this point, we want to market to them what they needed most. Now, this was where the trouble started. They brought in a professional with predictive analytics. It came up with a predictive model. They start watching the women to see what they buy that give you signs that they are pregnant. So they start monitoring at what time they started buying those things that give you signs that they are pregnant. So they're able to predict, to project with time series when they will be at the second trimester. Now, after the model has been tinkered with, worked on, there came a time when they were perfect, they were sure. So they brought out the model and they used the model. You know what? I'm going to make you to be able to do the same thing. That is the purpose of this class. That is the purpose of this session. So they're able to predict when they are in the second trimester, and then They went into consultative marketing. Whoa. So they became like doctors. They sent email. They went into email marketing, conversational marketing. They start telling women what is the best thing to use at this time. And it was working because they started sending email, SMS to all these buyers. And those buyers now see them just the way you see your doctors and you don't argue with them. They see them as consultative. They see them as people that are giving them solution. They start giving them articles. They start telling them what happened at this stage of pregnancy. So what you need at this stage of pregnancy. Now, the trick of consultative marketing is that you just say yes, because they are not selling. They are advising. They are helping. That is why you don't tell your doctor no. Even though it's going to charge you a lot, just say yes. And after you pay, you say thank you. Because it's consultative marketing. They are helping you. They are consultants. So they start consultative marketing, and it was working. Then they start conversational marketing. They start sending emails. They start sending coupon and discount in mails. They start sending brochures. They start sending newsletters with all those products to these women. And this is where they had trouble. This is where the lawsuits came from. Now they send a newsletter in mail to a lady, a young girl, and the father happened to pick it up. And the father was pissed. Now, are you people suggesting to my young daughter to go and get married and be pregnant? Or are you suggesting pregnant without getting married? It is wrong of you. How will you do such a thing? So he went back to the store and was causing a situation at the store. And the store manager was like, oh, okay, we're sorry. This newsletter, this particular newsletter was supposed to go only to pregnant women. So she said, that's the point. Okay, so you people are even monitoring pregnant women. I'm going to sue you people to court. That is against privacy. That is against this. You know, there's this issue of data and privacy is always a war forever. So it went that bad, and then they went to court. Unfortunately, 3 months down the line, the young father found out that the daughter was pregnant. So he came back to the store to apologize, but they're already in court. Now it has become a federal issue because that's to do with data and privacy. You know how this thing rings in America. Now he came back and apologized that all of a sudden the daughter has hidden it, but the daughter was really pregnant. So the store was a magician. Now the store used predictive analytics. They look at the behavior of this lady. Every time she came to the store, they look at what she picked at the rearranged shelf. They look at the correlation of the product she was buying. You won't buy them. You won't need them except you're pregnant. So the correlation analytic with a confidence interval of 85% actually jack off to about 90% because he's able to predict even when the father of the lady did not know that the lady was pregnant. So they were able to capture what they needed, though it landed them in trouble, but they were able to sell to pregnant women just in time. At the point that they needed to make that decision. You see, what, when, how, working together, just in time, so that you can get the market share of these market women as they enter into their third trimester, when they're going to buy anything, just anything that is pointing to the baby. They were just there to take the money. And that is what marketing is about, providing value at the time it's needed most. That is marketing. If you can do this, then you can get a lot of things from the market. Now, let's go to the second analysis. I hope that analysis is, that case study is very, very self-explanatory. I hope we got it. Let's look at this. Now, as I said in the first analysis, I want you to look at yourself again. This is about you again. Even though I'm going to be using a fictitious person. This is a fictitious case study. Interestingly, it's not that fictitious. I can't authoritatively say this is fictitious because I've spent more than 10 years out of my 20 years experience in marketing in this field. This is retail furnishing. This is where I made a lot of names here in Nigeria. So I want you to understand that even though it looks fictitious, it's real. But I'm not taking one person up here. If anybody I'm taking up is you, and I want you to look at this, because as I'm speaking, you will see yourself in what I'm going to say. The case study is an online case study, and you're searching for a dining table. You needed a dining table in your house. So the first thing you do, you pick up your mobile phone and type dining table. Likely if you're in Nigeria, you're going to put dining table in Nigeria. If you're in Lagos, you're going to put dining table in Lagos, or maybe dining table in Abuja. If there's a way you can narrow it down, if you know how to, because there is how to, you can narrow it down a little further, and then you get to see dining tables. So you do a Google search, voila. Now, this is like a mouse trap for data-driven marketing. It's like a mouse trap. Now, once you put that enter and you click search, you have entered into a different world entirely. Now, at that point, a lot of things are working for you. They're not working against you, believe me. They're working for you. They're working to help you, because at that point, you're going to see the results come out, and Google is so smart and so beautiful. It's going to tell you it got the result for you in 13 seconds. So to you, nothing has happened. But let me let you know that a lot of things has happened at the back within those micro milliseconds. Tags and pixels were already at work. Your location is already captured. Your interest is already captured. All the soldiers of predictive analytics are armed, waiting for you to click just one button so that they can follow you and monitor you until you buy a dining table. I will explain. Now, you see yourself as a marketer, and don't let us look at it from the recipient side now, where you're scared that, oh, all that is happening to me. See yourself as the person that is controlling all that and is making all that happen, and you'll be as excited as I am, because I'm always excited about data-driven marketing. Now, immediately you click the search, the tags and pixels are fired. Now, every tool that is set to retarget you open their eyes. That is, in a bad way, you are being monitored. But don't be afraid, they're not going to come to your house. But we're just watching. We want to know what you want to do. We want to help. We want to help you make a better buying decision. That's exactly what we're trying to do. And that's what you have to do as a marketer, to help your customers, your prospective customer, make a better decision by buying from you. Now, once you click one of those things outlined in that search, once you click it, pixels fired, tags fired, you already been retargeted. You just find out, maybe you're just your daughter in the house, they said, Daddy, we need a new dining table. And in just your break time, you just type dining table, and you feel, okay, I just type dining table and that is all. You just find out from that point that if you go to a new site, or you go to another site that is not selling dining table, you saw one small banner ad that is reminding you that somebody is selling dining tables, and you wonder, ow, how did they know I am interested in dining table? These people are so nice. Then you click again, another mousetrap. Now, the reality is, everybody that is selling dining table that understand this technology is watching you, because we are all trying to say, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. So if you are, now watch this, if you are laid back as a marketer and you're not doing all this, your tag is not working, your pixel is not working, and you're wondering why the customers are not coming, they can't come. Because they are more active people, actively participating in their life more than you. So the tags and the pixel are there. They are already retargeting. You've clicked on the site you clicked on seems to have more power. They are at advantage. That is why everybody wants to be on the top of the search in Google, so that they'll be the first person you see. They'll be the first person you click. Then their pixel, their tags can work more on you. They want to see how you go along the line. That is what they call the funnel drop off. Now, if you don't have a funnel and you are a marketer and you're marketing either online or offline, I want to beg you, please get a funnel. You are not doing well. you lose too much money. I mean, I can actually use predictive analytics on you now that you are being frustrated. Don't mind me. But that is just the truth. That's the power of prediction. Now, you're just going to be frustrated. Because how do you don't have, that means you don't have a customer journey. That means you don't have a value ladder. Those are the things I said is given at the beginning. And you see why I mentioned them at the beginning? Because they're just precursor to everything you're going to do. They're just going to be ahead. If you don't have them, wow. How do you measure your funnel drop off? If all you're just doing is selling one thing to people, and then that is the end, you don't have any funnel, you don't know how they come in, you don't know how they go. Of course, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. You won't be here if you don't. And if you're here, you don't. That means you're just beginning. You better learn this quickly. It will help you achieve more. It will help you grow faster. Now, the watch out, if you saw a beautiful dining on my website, and you click on the dining and you turn it around at a 360 degree, we're watching you. We're watching the number of minutes you spend on the site too. This is predictive. This is data-driven marketing. We're watching how many minutes you spend. That is where analytics come in. I'm going to talk about it later. We're watching you. Now, when you click it, you click add to cart. When you click add to cart, the whole hell is set loose. A lot of targets are coming to you on the data ground. Everybody is happy. Everybody is shouting. He has clicked add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. So we're watching you. Now, if at the point of add to cart, you didn't click buy, we will follow you till you buy. Sorry. Because you said you are interested. It is not bad. It is you that show interest. So we don't want your interest. We know a lot of things can happen along the way. Maybe you had a phone call. Maybe you went into a meeting and you were distracted. We don't want distraction to come in your way. We want you to buy. You said you want to buy. You added it to cart. So we will follow you until you buy. So we look at funnel drop-off. Then another thing we look at when we talk of funnel drop-off, we look at the behavioral analysis. Are you always adding things to cart and not buying them? So you have less value to me at that point. I don't want to bother my head too much about it. That is his behavior. It's just shopping and never buying. So it's just window shopping. Now we keep you in the delay list. So we may not follow you with so much of our powers. We will follow you with little power so that we can just keep be in your face, maybe once every week, maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe once every month until you're going to buy. We're going to be sending you our newsletter in case you're going to buy other things. Now, we watch your behavior. If you have bought a living room settee sofa before this time, we're likely going to believe that you are furnishing a new home. Do you know what that we do? The next advert you're going to receive from me is complete home furnishing. Because I'm watching your behavior. You've bought something, maybe you bought a settee. Now you're buying a dining set. You're likely going to need bed. You're likely going to need wardrobe. You're likely going to need some other things. So I want to quickly offer you those things before anybody. You see how comes in here. I want to offer it to you before anybody offer it to you. So I start to predict your next move. I start to watch your next move so that I can give you what you need. So now what happens is when you click, you must have bought something online before. When you click add to cart, you suddenly see some suggestion. You suddenly see people who bought this also buy this. Now that's the power of predictive analytics. They've watched people that bought the same thing that you want. At that point, you bought a sofa, you're likely going to see a throw pillow on my suggestion for you. That people who buy this also buy this. So I want you to just add the throw pillow. Now watch this. It's also in brick and mortar store. You go to KFC, you want to buy chips. They ask you, wouldn't you want chicken? Wouldn't you want a burger? Because people who buy chips, bought chicken and bought burger. So they just want to add more. Now look at the value chain there. Look at the value ladder. They might have advertised the chips to you for so small an amount, and you feel it's the cheapest you can get, but they're not trying to make their money from the chips. The chip is the listing. Yes, they market that to you. They're not trying to make their money from the chips. They're smart. That is when the value chain comes in. They bring you in. That's why it's called value ladder. They bring you in from the easiest point, but they know they're going to monitor you along the way, especially if you're online. They're going to watch your behavioral analysis. They're going to predict what you're going to do. They're going to suggest to you in the way. So the chips is cheap, but the chicken is not. The burger is not. So the money they spend on advert, they're going to get it back. So they won't be frustrated. Now they're talking about a marketing that keeps you growing. The marketing pay you to grow. That is what they call self-liquidating marketing. Without all this analysis, you can do a self-liquidating marketing. That is, the money you spend on advert keeps you going with advert while it brings people in, so that you cannot just make money for advert, but you make money to keep your business going and make profits. So you can do more advert. So you wonder, how do some people keep spending so much on advert? It is self-liquidating. The money of the advert keep bringing more money for the advert while they make money from other things. So it's not as if they keep increasing their budget every day and they're going to go off somehow. Now, this is the power of data-driven marketing. All right. So if they have suggestion, finally, on our online case study, you're going to be having upsell and downsell. Just like I said, if I notice you've bought a sofa set, you've bought a dining table, I'm likely going to upsell you. Immediately you click buy, I'm going to suggest something to you. That thing may be complete home furnishing. It may be a bed set that is on discount. If you reject all my suggestion, instead of upselling, I will downsell. And if you don't pick my downsell, I put you on subscription. So you need to have your, you see, I'm going through this. This is offer ladder. Like I said, it's given for me. I believe you have it. All right. It's time for you to create your own case study. Is somebody ready to create his own case study? From the two analyses, is either you have a brick and mortar store or you have an online store. Are you ready to create your own case study? If you are ready, can I have a yes in the comment section? I always like people participating. Don't mind me. If you're ready, can I have a yes in the comment section? Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Kachi. Of course. Thank you. All right. If you're ready for your own case study, because there is no blessedness in listening to this, because predictive analysis is a little complex and it's not useful to you if you don't learn to use it. The power of predictive analysis is in using it. Data-driven marketing is not theory. It's purely practical. It's actually very complex, but I'm trying my best to make it as simple as it can be. All right. Thank you, Godia. Thank you, Sakiru. Thank you, Zainab. All right. So let's put it to work. The first thing you want to do is want to get data. The second thing is want to use data. Now, how do you get data? Now, for my people in Nigeria, this is going to be a big deal. And for the third world country, this is a big deal. No data, no data, no data. It's a lie. There's a lot of data. You just don't appreciate them as data. If you look at where you are, just watch around you. You will see a lot of data. Around you where you are, there are a lot of data. Just that you don't know that they're data. Look at the shirt you're wearing. How many buttons are on it? You know that is data? Look at the room you're in. How many furniture is there? That is data. Just that we don't appreciate data. Now, on the social media, you post, people comment, people share, people react. That is data, and that is a lot of data. Indeed, that is called big data because of the speed and the volume of such data that is available. It is called big data. Go online. You have a website. Use web. Use Google Analytics. As Sergio mentioned that yesterday. Get Google Analytics. Let it work for you. There's so many analytics. You're on app. You're an app-based business. Use Firebase. There's so many analytics. I'm going to talk about the tools later and the steps. Let me just go through this. I have like 10 minutes. Existing data. There are people who have this data, although I know the morality is there. Should we buy data? Now, I will leave that for the court and some other time. I don't want to get myself involved in that here. Now, create your own data. Do a survey. Ask people questions. Do it online. It's very easy. They just fill it form. I'm doing one now. Presently, as I'm talking to you, there's one running online. People are filling form and submitting it. So create your own data. When the data is so localized and you can get it to maybe you can get it on the big data warehouse, then create yours. Now, the process is simple. When you get this data, you get social web, existing data, or create your own data, you need to clean it because they are always dirty. Data never come ready for use. You need to clean it. I'll talk about it. Don't worry. You need to interpret it. You need to exploit it. Then you need to visualize it. Then when you have this data in a way that you can visualize and interact with it, you need to go into predictive. You need to go into analytics. Let me use the word analytics. You need to describe. Now, the data you have, what happened? That's the most important thing. What happened? If you miss what happened, you can't use predictive analytics. You need to understand what happened, and you need to have the explanation. Explanatory analytics. You need to know why what happened. Hotels are not selling in Nigeria at this time. Why? there is a drop in the value of a particular industry. Why? Describe it, there is a drop. Why did it happen? Then prescribe a solution. When you prescribe a solution, you are a little bit close to predictive. Now, predictive is what will happen in the future. So that is where we're going. So now predictive analytics can help you in several ways. I'm going to give you two. If you have a new product, you have a new product, or you're going into a new market, predictive analytics will help you not to waste your time and waste your money. A lot of people just leave it to get. You know, when I said it is given, but it is wish. You wish the product will work. You pray that the product will work. Now, prayer has its own place. This is not about prayer. You can pray very well and your product will still fail because you don't have the data to make it work. So don't just pray, don't just wish. Use predictive analytics. New product, new market, new solution. You are opening a new branch. Then another thing you can use it to do, I'm just giving two here as an example so that I can go to the another very crucial slide before we finish this. You want to look at shunning. Will this customer keep buying from me? This is very important. That my very good customer just left me. Predictive analytics will tell you before the customer leaves that he's going to leave. You know, I'm working with a group now that we're using predictive analytics to determine if a bank will give you loan. You wonder, how will they know if I will be able to pay? Predictive analysis will tell us if you are going to pay or not. Then predictive analytics will tell me if you're my customer, if you're going to change your mind and go to the next store. Now, you think about it. What are the things you want to do that are futuristic? Now, think about how predictive analytics can help you. Now, the next slide, which is, to me, basically the most important slide for those who want to practice predictive analytics. You want to be sure what you're going to do and how to do it. The first thing here is that you want to collect data. Like I said, data is too important for predictive. Actually, there's no predictive analytics without data. What you want to predict, you can't. So you want to collect data. Now, I talked about analytics, website analytics. Now, those of us who don't have website and use social media, do you know that the most critical part of social media is the social analytics? They call it metrics. There's some that is called vanity metrics, but there are also core metrics. You want to decide which one you are looking at. If you look at the wrong metrics, if you look at the wrong data, there is no way you're going to have a wrong solution. You're going to have a wrong prediction invariably. So you want to have your data analytics. You want to have your data. You want to go to data sites. I won't be able to give you data site, but there are a lot of them. Just type it in Google. Then you want to create your own observations, especially if it is localized market. You want to create your own observations. Then after you get the data, you want to clean it up. You want to clean the data. You want to have a clean data. You don't want what they call outliers in data or missing data. You don't want the data to give you a wrong information by the time you start your analysis, because you want to analyze later on. The third step is analysis. But number two, you want to clean the data. Now, what do you use? You can use Excel. Excel comes with Microsoft. Now, there are some other database spreadsheet application that you can use. If you have others, you can use them. I don't know their capacity because I've not used them. I use Excel. And then you have SQL. SQL is also powerful, especially when your data is very large. You want to use SQL. Now, I found that another cleaning tool is not just cleaning, it's also for analysis. Ultrace. Ultrace is so powerful that what I will do in Excel for a whole day, I can do it in 1 hour in Ultrace. So you want to consider that too. Ultrace is monetized. SQL is free. Tableau, that's another very powerful tool. Tableau is monetized, but we have public Tableau. So you want to, if you don't want to spend money, there are limitations, but you want to use public Tableau. Tableau is so beautiful. You see me mentioning Tableau all along. It's so beautiful. You want to master that. No, yesterday there was a question that talked about when you're bringing in technology, how do you get people to use them? This is where you need people who are good either in Tableau, in Ultrace, or SQL to come into your organization and help you. You may not be everything, but because this is my job, I have an understanding of these tools. Now you want to analyze. The data is clean. You want to process it. You want to know why. What happened. You want to go into explanatory. You want to go into descriptive. You want to go into you want to prescribe. before you now predict, you need analytic tools. You need SQL, you need Tableau. Then we have the Power BI. Power BI is just a very interesting way to visualize your data. It makes it so good that you love looking at it. Data work can be very disturbing, very time consuming. The fourth thing there is interpreting data, which also is the iteration initiator. This is where people get tired of data, because you have done something and you think is good, then you analyze, then you find out that the thing is not good, then the human factor come in. What you want, you did not see it, you have to go back again and go and clean. Maybe there's an outlier or there's a missing data that you have mistakenly allowed to come in. You have to iterate again, you have to go through it again. Now, it is time taking, but these tools will help you to do it. And the next thing is you want to model the data. You want to predict. Don't forget that's where we're going. Now, the data that you have, you want to model it. You want to use regression, you want to use time series, like I said in the first case study. You want to use all these. They are available tools that you can use to model. Model means it has happened before. That is why I gather data. So if it has happened before, I want to use what has happened before to predict what will happen in the future. So I create a model to pass it through. This is what happened in the bank. Why they don't give you loan? They get your data, they pass it through a model, and you fail in that model, excuse me, they will not give you loan, because they can trust you, because the model maybe has 75, 85 confidence interval. They just believe that the model is good, that you are not going to pay back if you get the loan. So you want to use this also to your own advantage. Then you predict, you score. Now, then you take the new data. Now, you are the new data. You are the data they're going to use to score. So they bring you in and see how you're doing. Then you present your finding through Power BI, Tableau, or Microsoft Azure, which is actually a mega tool. If you want to know how to get Azure for a year free, I might be able to give you something on that regard, but it's a big deal. And these tools will help you to create your own case study. Now, you can create something fictitious. You can look at something in your industry or in your job and create it. The most important thing is that you need to define your goal, go through this process as your data core, and then present your result. That is the most important thing. Thank you very much for your time, and on time, exactly 45 minutes. And I hope I've not bored you with too many jargons. I know predictive analytics is so complex, but I think I've been able to break it down to something that is close by. All right. So thank you so much for listening to the predictive big jargons. But I'm sure it's going to be of help. Thank you so much. Back to you, our moderator.
Wow. Where do you want me to start? I've just been listening and listening and listening. I'm like, wow, this is a whole work in its own self. So thank you so much, Mr. Paul Akinala, for this explosive section. And I'm also grateful that you were also very time conscious. We're looking at the time also, and that makes you, thank you for keeping the time. All right. So questions are coming. Yeah. So I've seen people jumping in the comments already. Buddy says, wow, awesome session. Zina said, this is indeed very interesting. For me, this is so interesting. Now I understand why people are trailing me every time on Google and all that. And also, Takiru says, this is great job. Thank you, Francis, really great job. And there are questions jumping. All right. The questions dropping in right now. Okay, great. All right, awesome. Okay. Okay, so right now we're going to be going into Oko says, I'm now in love with predictive analysis. Me too. I'm now in love with predictive analysis. Okay, so I have a question coming right now. So what I want you to do is please put your questions, let your questions drop in right now. If you want to ask a live question, please also drop it. And let's see your hand up. You can take a live question. We're going to comment question section quickly. So there's a question already on the comment box for you, Mr. Paul. From Sergio. Sergio says, in a world with so much data, how do you choose what data to use? What if one set of data says A and another set says B? How do I define which set to believe? Over to you, sir.
This is intimidating coming from my boss. but I will try my best. Well, but I think it's also asking for all of us. There's so much data. I mean, we talk about big data these days, not just data. We're talking about big data, the speed of light. To just this session, do you know how much data we've generated online? Now, one data said A, one data said B. You want to say, during my slide, there's something I call the human factor, where I talk about iteration, reiteration. You create a model and you just find out that that model is not working because a part of the data you're using is not correct. So there is no magic to know the good data. That is why every data comes dirty. That's why I said the data is dirty. You need to clean. You need to remove things that you know are not good in the data. You need to also find out if they are missing data, because missing data can, even the data can be good data, but they can be very misleading. Like if you're doing an analysis, let me quickly do this. I think all of us should be able to understand this. You have an average of the salaries of entrepreneurs in US, and then everybody's earning $5,000, $10,000, and then they put Mark Zuckerberg and is earning $1 million. And you're trying to find the average. You're going to deceive yourself. The data is good. There's nothing wrong with the data, but there's an outlier. There's an exceptional case. You don't want to use that kind of data because it will lie. You will not be able to model right. So that is why interpretation of data, there is still the need for human. Apart from that, even machines can identify outliers. I want you to know that now machines can identify outliers. So you want to look critically into your cleaning of data. You want to also create different models. That's why there's reiteration. Now, if you're using Ultrace for your modeling, Ultrace is so powerful that Ultrace can do 10,000 model reiteration in less than 5 minutes. So I can be sure that what I'm coming with at the end of the day is going to be good. Now, I can also test that with several other data, of course. Before a person will tell you you're not going to be able to pay back loan in the bank, they've used several data in scoring. That is where that part called scoring comes from. So you can't predict if the data is good or not, especially if it is from a good source and you have cleaned, you've removed outliers, you've removed missing data, you've removed human error, you have passed it through Ultrace, you pass it through Tableau. I mean, you can pass it through all this machine. At the end of the day, one thing you want to do for sure is that you want to keep scoring. Even after you've tried the data in the first year and it worked, you want to score it against the next year. So predictive analytics is not an end. That's why I say when the human factor comes in, there's reiteration. So there's no way you know upfront. You just want to keep trying, testing it with another data, testing with another data from another source. And if we keep giving you the result, then voila, you have 85. I think the CI, the confidence interval is always around 85% when it's the best. You see, the 15% that is remaining is for God and for iteration, so that we don't become gods. So we allow some things to happen. That is how I believe. I know, Sergio, you might have an answer, and I will be glad if you can tell us how you think we can differentiate. Thank you so much.
Well, actually, if I may, of course, I wouldn't answer the question the same way you did because you're the expert, so you have the right words. But my view is aligned with yours in the sense that there's no way to know exactly which data is correct and which data is wrong, and very frequently both are right. But you have to figure out a way to do what I said yesterday. Now you have to figure out a way to separate things. So maybe this set of data is related to this profile of consumer, and this one is to another profile of consumer. So if you try to treat both the same way, you may have situations like this, that the data doesn't seem realistic or doesn't apply. So I guess that you have to, as you said, clean the data, remove the outliers, remove the the pollution, let's say. But you always have to understand what who is your audience, right? So what are you analyzing? I guess you mentioned that in the very beginning of your presentation, right? So you have to know where you're going. You need to know who. You need to know when. You need to know where. Once you identify that, the chances of not having good data is much lower. But if you don't define that, you take all the data, put everything in one basket, you certainly have something that doesn't represent anything, because you have everything mixed together and you don't know the proportions, you don't know where you're going, so you end up using data that is not related to your actual target market. So I guess that you answered the question in the very beginning of your presentation. You have to know what you're doing. The more you know what you're doing, the better the quality of the data and the better the prediction or the outcome of your exercise. That's what I would say. But thank you for putting expert words to explain something that is not simple. It's not a simple concept. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul, for that answer. I believe that's good. And thank you, Mr. Sergio, for the comments also. All right. Do we have more questions? All right. So someone says, I'm now in love with predictive analysis. So how can this is from Oko Steve. Oko Steven says, so how can I be actively involved in this PA? Like, okay, how can I be a guru in predictive analysis? All right, so you want to answer that too? Because I'm also thinking about it too. Because these days you need to understand everything about your audience, everything about your market. Because at the end of the day, the most important part is that value is being added and the revenues are coming in, of course. So how can one get involved according to Dr. Stevens' question? Go ahead.
All right. How do you become active? I would say if you want to become a guru, you need to do a lot of learning. Now, what I've done today is I know this is not a technical class, so I didn't want to go into all the technicalities. I just brought the benefits to bear.
Icing.
Yeah, I made it very easy.
Give us the icing of the cake.
Yeah. So to become a guru, you need to go study. Yeah, so much you can learn. Just go online, and then a lot of them are paid courses because this is not fundamental. This is I've been into marketing, and I found out that marketing has gone beyond just posting something on social media and expect buyers to come, or doing adverts on Facebook. So I realized that there's something more to it, and I always want to be ahead. So that's why I went into predictive analytics. So what I want is I want you to understand from I think second to the last slide or third to the last slide, I brought out all the tools for you. That is how to get actively involved. Practice with those tools. That's my intention. My intention is to make predictive analytics as part of all of us that are listening. I don't want us to be behind, because you see, we are at advantage. Even the experts that are teaching me are still learning. So there's so much advantage for us. There's no book you want to read on predictive analytics that the author is dead. But if you go and read books on mechanical engineering, that's my first degree, the author have died even before you were born. So we're all learning here. We're all on the stage here. We're at the spot. So you can still be the guru. You can still teach me on predictive analytics. That is the beauty of it. So you want to take advantage of that slide. I'm sure the slide is already with the convener. So you can take that slide and take it as a workbook. Go from getting the data to prediction. You can get all that done cheaply. That's why I put that slide intentionally, so that anybody can just print out that one single page and become an active predictive analytic expert. So you can print that out, take it, and then start working with it. So I think that is the way you can get involved. Now, if you want to know more than that, you want to become a guru, you want to help people. Happily, I help other people now in developing models that can predict and also help them make their marketing better. If you want to get to that point, then you're talking about maybe not being a guru, because I don't even think there's a guru yet in predictive analytics. We are all learning. So maybe becoming better at helping people, you can go and study more on predictive analytics. Thank you very much.
Hello, Mr. Paul. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much for this wonderful in-depth teaching on predictive analysis. I'm sure you know it wouldn't end here. You'll be coming to MPN to continue. I'll definitely drag you into that. So if you're a member of MPN, don't worry. We'll have an inner caucus update on all this. So I have a question. What of a situation where your data findings does not correlate with actual marketplace findings? Because there are times I believe there will be what's the right word to use? There'll be a disconnect between your data analysis findings and what actually happens in the marketplace, especially for a place like Nigeria, where we are way behind in some areas. So what happens, like for an example, an FMCG, I don't really know if you can use the same data findings to work with products that are in like the core market, open market. So can you help us with that?
All right, Kachi, let me
Yes.
try to answer this. And of course, I'm all for MPN. So I can see somebody's already asking contact so I can engage with you. Now you have the answer, Stephen. You have the answer. Yes, you have the answer. So I'm all for MPN. Now, if your market, that is outrightly a bad data. Now, the question is, how did you get the data? Now, let me give you an example. FMCG presently. So when you mention FMCG, I have to. But that said, you want to ask yourself, where did you get the data? Now, okay, I happen to work with a company, and the company gave me a data. Let me not go into details of what kind of data. And the data was not, the gathering of the data was not good. When the gathering of the data is not good, there is nothing you can do about it. The source is bad, the data is bad, your analysis will be bad, everything will be bad. God forbid, because you're going to waste a lot of time. No, I talk about human iteration. So it's going to be, now, when there is no data, try to get the best access you can to data. And that is why, Sergio said it very well said. You have to make sure that your data is applicable. I mean, I can't imagine, I've never even thought of that, because I found that very interesting. Imagine if I am selling three different things, and somebody's selling three different things, and then I use his data. I mean, what am I expecting? That's killing. That's killing. So please use data that is applicable to you. Make sure you ask for the source of the data. Now, okay, let me give an example. You're in Nigeria and you're using the data of US to create a model for Nigerians. Oh, excuse me. That's not who. That's wrong. Even though they have data there, you need to create your own data here if there is none. But okay, let's give an example of FMCG. You have a lot of people that are buying your product. Create something that will make them give you information. That is the most important thing. That is where you get your data. Make sure they give you information. Don't just use the data because it was existing or because it is easier to get. Don't do that. Make sure that the data is applicable before you start creating model, before you start cleaning, before you start iterating. Find out the source. Don't just use it because that is the data that's available. You won't get results. No matter how fast you drive in the wrong direction, you will not arrive. So you want to make sure that you are in the right direction. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Paul, for that. I believe it's been an awesome and a very interesting section. And I'm afraid we won't be taking any further comments, any further questions, because the time for this section is done. So we're going to go into the next section. But before then, can we just say a God bless you on the comments to Mr. Paul for such an explosive, educative, interesting, inspiring, provoking, and all the ing time and the sections today. I think it's very, very awesome. So you can drop your emojis on the comment just to say thank you to Mr. Paul Kinola for the section today. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul, once again. I want to say thank you. I want to say God bless you for this section. Thank you so much. All right, so it's coming in right now. Shidebere, thank you. Elijah, thank you. Elijah says, God bless you for this inspiring section. Oko says, you are so awesome for the mind resetting lecture. So that's another word. I mentioned 5 already. Provoking, inspiring, and all that. So we have mind resetting. Thanks a million. Ms. Jumoke says, what an awesome section. Gadia says, thank you for your thought-provoking section. So thank you so much, Mr. Paul. Like Kashi said, I think we're going to continue this section in another class. So thank you so much. And very, very, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to right away. Okay, so right away, we're going to go into the next section now, our second section. We're going to the second section right away. Our next section is going to be taken by, we're talking about marketing and Internet of Things. Marketing and Internet of Things. I believe this is going to be another wow section, another mind-blowing section when it comes to technology. So, and no other person has been taking this than our very own sorry if I mentioned that, Axel Zena from the IQRA University. Thank you so much. And she's already on it. Thank you so much. Take it away.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Greetings. I am Axel Zena from Pakistan. And let me share the details with you. Let me share the slides with you, and then we're going to start our topic for today. A little bit about myself. Again, I'm Saida Aksazena. Currently, I'm teaching at Accra University, and my experience in the field of academics have been 6 years. And my focus is towards research and marketing. So, I mean, today the topic that I've been given is pretty interesting because I think it's something that we're entering into. It's something that the whole world is entering into, and it's coming up with so much opportunities for us, for marketeers. So I hope I'm audible to everyone.
I can hear you very loud and clear.
All right. So So I hope this is also visible. Anyways, so I'm going to begin with marketing and
Hello,
the Internet of Things.
Bella, your slides are not showing properly yet.
Slides are not showing.
The slides are not showing properly yet. So you want to put it on presentation mode.
All right.
So can you see that? Maybe slideshow. Maybe you go to slideshow on the menu bar. I believe that will work.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. Okay, so I think there's probably Zainab is facing some difficulty. I don't know. And I want to apologize. I think there's a question that I didn't quickly notice here from Professor Andika from Indonesia. I didn't quickly see your question. I didn't know if it's for Paul. I don't know if it's for Paul. What's your opinion about green marketing practice? Like we know currently the green concept. Is it for Paul? So while Zinan is trying to fix that, I don't know if this question was for Paul. I mean, Paul is off already. So I didn't see that in the comments. Okay. Okay, awesome.
All right, extremely sorry for the
All right,
glitches.
so also just click on the menu bar, the
Yeah.
slideshow, I think
Thank you so much.
It becomes a full screen or down on the presentation mode. So you can try slideshow on the menu bar. Okay, awesome, great.
All right.
Awesome, great. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so yes, so Internet of Things, as we know, I mean, years back when we were introduced to Internet, so it seemed as something that was very exciting for all of us. I mean, Internet was something that was extremely, exciting thing. But today, as we see, there has been revolution. There has been a continuous revolution in the field of technology, and that revolution has been connected to all the other disciplines as well. Like, for instance, in marketing, this revolution, the revolution of technology, has assisted many fields. And specifically, if we look at dig into the field of marketing, so it has brought many opportunities for marketers to tap into new markets, to know about new customers, to know about new demographics, right? So I'm going to begin with, most of you already know, and again, I know that I'm talking to marketing professionals, but it's always good to have a review, and it's always good to have a slight understanding of what we're going to be discussing today. So that's Internet of Things. Internet of Things. I mean, what are these things? Specifically, when we talk about these things, so we're talking about devices. I mean, objects around us, things that we already were aware of. For instance, all the mobile devices, the cell phones, and then from cell phones to smartphones, and then laptops, and so on. I mean, tablets. There's so many devices around us. Again, this revolution, this advancement has, taken marketing to the next level, because now you can easily know what your customers want, and marketers can maximize customer experience and customer satisfaction by knowing and, getting more insights about consumers and their tastes, their preferences, what they like, what they dislike. So these devices that we were already aware of. Now, if we see, we spoke about predictive analysis earlier, and there are many, several other areas that we can explore and understand how we can connect this internet to the existing devices and create, better experience and enhance customer satisfaction. Consumers today have already, they have access to internet, and this access has not just provided consumers with that ease. In fact, it has given access to marketers as well into data, into consumer data, and again, to know their consumers better. So what is Internet of Things? I've already given a brief overview about it. So internet and all these devices, when you connect them together, so it makes marketing more powerful. I mean, back in the days, there were devices, but today, if you look at those devices, they have all become smart. From smartphones to smart cars to smart rooms to smart cities as well. I mean, there, there will be a time probably in the future that we're going to be having smart cities. So that's all possible with the understanding how we can connect internet to the devices, adding sensors and other machinery items to know and understand the people, to know and understand the consumers. So that's a precise understanding of what Internet of Things are and how it can make, it can bring more opportunities for marketeers, and how it can how marketeers can understand how they can understand consumers and consumer behavior even in a better way, and to dig deeper into the needs and target those needs. So moving on. Like I discussed earlier, marketing, IoT, how it's enhancing customer experience today. I mean, if we talk about smartphone devices can easily, they monitor your heart rate, they monitor your steps, they monitor everything. It's like we as humans are having a relationship with these products. Earlier, it was very challenging for businesses to create that relationship, create that connection with the customers. And today, by adding that relationship with the products, now consumers are having that relationship with the products, and it is giving easy access to the companies as well, because that relationship with the products helps consumers become more and more comfortable with the devices and the products that they're using. So, I mean, this actually connects both the things together, which actually, connects the bridge. So as companies are getting more and more access to the consumer data, they're able to design better strategies, better marketing strategies, and able to meet the need of the current consumer needs. So we can see that there has been a whole transformation of consumer experience with IoT, Internet of Things. I mean, today your smartphone can tell you if you're if you're exhausted, right? If your heart rate is going very high. So all these smart devices, the smart watches, smart tabs. So, I mean, they easily monitor your activities, and with those activities, it actually creates that relationship with the consumers. So, right, so we're talking about the revolution. So by combining or adding intelligence into products and devices, it actually helps consumers to dig deeper into what they actually want. Because consumers, honestly, as if we talk about ourselves, we don't really know what we want. I mean, before our brain knows what we want, today the devices tell us what we actually want. So again, it rather helps consumers, it pampers consumers as if the product really cares about people. So again, if you consider the mobile phone industry, we can see how it changed to smartphones in a couple of years. So it seemed as if everything was dumb before, but now that we're moving into a very interesting time, we can see that everything seems to be done what has been done in the past. So not the smartphone, it's not just the smartphone, it's more like an agent, like that will monitor your heartbeat, sleep time, calculate your steps, monitor your diet, and etc. So Internet of Things, again, what are these things? These are things that we're connected to, and without internet, it's impossible to connect. And smartphones, laptops, tablets, we now have smart cars, smart stores, and even smart cities. So for marketers, there are new ways to connect to consumers, because a good marketer will never leave its customer in isolation. It's never a good thing to leave your customers in isolation. So now I'm going to talk a little about big data as well, since I think we've already had a discussion over it. So Internet of Things help generate big data, which is useful for marketeers. So how does it actually help generate that big data? I mean, all these devices that we carry along with ourselves, we're feeding data into them. We're telling them about our activities. They monitor our activities. They sense our activities. So they can easily extract the information needed concerning the targeted audience and build effective strategies. So again, it obviously adds to customer experience, because customers, the more customer enhanced the customer experience would be, the more opportunities there are going to be for the marketeers to flourish and to enter into new markets. Okay. Again, personalized communication, we can see that today, I mean, if you're interested in any product, or if you're interested in anything, and if you're searching for it, so I mean, all that data is feeded. It's there in your smartphone. It tells you, it suggests you whether or not, you should buy a certain product, whether you're missing onto something, or if you're a gym freak, or you like to exercise much. So it's going to tell you where, if there's a nearest gym around you. So all of this is done through monitoring and sensing. These devices basically sense your activities and monitor your activities. And we've already been aware of, machine learning and artificial intelligence, and the talk that we had earlier. So again, I'm not going to go into that detail, because I think it has already been perfectly communicated. But this, however, becomes more and more interesting as we get access to such machines, such softwares, such devices, and it helps advertisers to create personal communication and develop new products, understand new markets, understand customer activities, improve overall customer experience. Okay, so the opportunity for marketers in bridging digital and physical, obviously, if you go back in time, so the communication, we see communication of the internet over the internet is very open. Like, people are very much comfortable when they connect over the internet, when they communicate on the internet, and they're pretty much these days, because internet has given consumers that much of comfort, so, and convenience. So consumers audience today is very over the internet. If you see, there's a lot of communication, but physically there's very less communication. These are the same people virtually. If you see them, you're going to find them, especially if you talk about social media, you're going to find them pretty social, and they like to socialize much, they like to shop online, and they're basically obviously giving data, giving information about their activities. But physically, if we see, so there's very much less communication. And with this internet, we observe that as the internet has boomed, and these devices and what I've been talking about, there has been a less physical communication. So this physical communication is more with the objects that are around us. So companies today are trying to build that similar communication with the objects. So like I said earlier, that relationship with the products. So these relationship with the products that are built, helps extract data from the consumers. It helps know the consumer behavior even in a better way. Traditionally, if we see, we can observe that traditionally consumer behavior, to understand consumer behavior was very much challenging, and companies would put a lot of effort into knowing what consumer really wants, what consumer really needs, and what actually satisfies the consumer. But today with these devices, it has become very much convenient for marketers, and it has become very much at one hand, it pampers the consumer, it creates convenience for the consumers, and on the other hand, it is creating the similar convenience for the marketers as well to know and understand and have insights about their consumers. So Internet of Things is revolutionizing the digital marketing as well. I mean, we can see that their advertisements, everything has been digitized now, because we know that above 90% of the population today is online. So there has been a need of going digital. And probably, our activities are known by these digital devices more than our best friends. So everything has been digitized. So Internet of Things, I mean, we can take this as an opportunity to understand where our consumers are, what they want, and what should be done to enhance the customer experience. It enables data collection. Obviously, with these devices, we can see that how these devices collect data and extract needed and timely data and use that to create better targeted ads to align the to create needs for customers. And obviously, Internet of Things has a revolutionary impact on advertising by providing and extracting data and also developing new insights regarding neglected and unexplored markets and demographics. So it tracks behavior. I've come across things that in Google Class, with something that we're all aware of. It is predicted that in the coming years, it will actually tell you whether the person standing next to you is lying or not. So again, it's another revolution that we're entering into. It tracks behavior. It tracks your activities. So again, it has become pretty much convenient and easy to understand the consumer behavior, which was traditionally done through various other methods and was pretty much challenging back then. But today, the marketers have easy access to consumer behavior as well. So advertising and Internet of Things. Internet of Things, or more conveniently called interconnected devices, where you have these sensors that can send data to a network using the internet. So how does it assist advertisers? So targeting, for instance, like I said, fitness enthusiasts. How does it target it? It targets it with an ad for gym nearby, because all of that data, which is within the devices, it and obviously in the cloud then. So it actually does the work easier for the users and makes things more personalized. So suggesting you to add items in your shopping based upon your recent interest in a brand, that too is at the magic of Internet of Things. So now we have devices, we have sensors connected to internet, and that's going to be the new revolution. Washing machines going to alarm in the future whether detergent is finished. Cars will suggest that there's a nearby auto center where you can due for an oil change. It's like it's more or less like your best buddy is always with you, and this buddy knows stuff that you or I don't know because it travels more than I do, and travels all over the internet, grabs data, fetches it, and brings it to you. So branding and Internet of Things, we can see that today we have QR codes, and with that, you can easily connect those QR codes with your devices and know more about the product. Interactive brand experience via smart speakers are another ways that brands are making use of this technology. Now, with all these advantages, there are certain concerns as well with regards to consumer protection. As we're giving more access, and as consumers are giving more access to their data, there are concerns about privacy as well. So now consumers are, today if we see there is a lot of information over the internet and consumers have access to all of this information. So we can't make, I think along with these smart devices, people have become smart as well. So we need to understand that this can be more challenging in the future if there are no, there are no initiatives taken to protect consumer data and privacy. So if you see consumer protection and consumer rights, whatever information consumers are giving to the companies, to the marketers through their devices, that needs security and privacy. The consumers will always look for products and brands that are of a high goodwill, because only those will be trusted in terms of consumer giving them access to their data. We can see all those smartphone, all those applications that we download on our smartphones. So you really have to look into which application has a good rating. Only then you download it, because we know that as you download an application, you're giving access to all of your information, your gallery, and there's several other items, or your privacy. So you're giving access. So companies need to ensure that they work over their goodwill, they work over creating and enhancing trust and build trust for consumers and provide consumer the information. Because most of the time, now this part, from the consumer's perspective, if you see, consumers are very less, informed, or sometimes if you talk about big brands or big companies, so consumer trust them more easily. And they would probably not be interested in reading all those terms and conditions that, companies ask to, go through and accept. So that's again, when marketers work over their branding, when marketers work over their company image and goodwill and build that trust among the consumers. Consumer protection law, we know that every country has a sovereign authority over its state, and there should be laws implemented in order to protect consumer privacy and data, in order to, because like I said, this is going to be the next thing, big thing. Probably people, children of today, kids of today are probably not going to imagine their lives without having anything smart with them. So because the upcoming generation is going to be much more smarter than probably we were. So, so we need to understand that with this, we have several challenges that are coming ahead of us. And we need to look into and dig deeper in how to, because this again adds to a company's credibility. Now, this, as a company, you need to take full responsibility of your consumers, of their data and privacy, and also governments of state should ensure to manage and have regulation over these companies, so that consumer data and privacy could be secured. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Zena, for this journey into the Internet of Things. Of course, we're used to all this, but we're beginning to understand what happens backstage with everything we do. We always get prompted on Facebook and other platforms to download apps, and it's interesting to know how much of our information that we give out. And definitely, the next generation is going to be smarter, and they definitely cannot imagine their lives without any smart device. I think it almost seems as if they're being born with it, because if you leave your phone with the baby, you get amazed at the settings you see when you come back to take your phone from them. I just think they're being born with it somehow, so we need to really try and catch up with them.
Well,
yeah.
I feel that companies today, because they want to ensure that customers are highly satisfied with their product offerings or their market offerings, and they want to take full advantage of the opportunity that is there. And Internet of Things, again, has been a very opportunistic, and it has given access to marketers to develop better strategies and know their customers better, more conveniently. So previously or traditionally, if you see, there were methods, but we know that with technology, it is giving us that convenience and comfort, and even to some extent, it's also giving us that, that importance. So I mean, as a marketer or future marketer, this would probably be much more opportunistic for young entrepreneurs. And again, yes, I feel that in the future, because we are gradually entering into this. I cannot say it yet. We have entered into IoT, and we have entered into this revolution. And we have all these devices in front of us. We have all these smart devices, and how we know how they extract data, how they use our data to market, individuals, to market consumers, know new customers, about new markets, right? So, but in the future, most probably, the physical and the digital gap that we were talking about. So this relationship is probably going to become even more stronger, because before your brain knows, your smart devices would know what you actually want. So probably, not probably, I'm sure that in the future,
Hello, Zina. It's still- Hello, Zina.
extremely sorry for the distraction here, because I'm having a slight internet problem. So,
Okay. Understandable.
yes, I've logged into my phone now, smartphone. Again, so it's always there. So that's it about from my side. And if you have any
Okay.
questions, I'll be.
Yeah, there's actually a question. Chidebere is asking, should we be worried at all that our information is outside? As in, should we be worried that all our information is outside and privacy is compromised? Sometimes you don't even need to download apps. Just for the fact that you are around some vicinity, you start getting prompts or adverts. How should we handle this development? That's a very good question.
Well, no doubt that we have concerns about our privacy, But at the same time, like I said, there has to be initiative taken from the government, and there have to be laws regarding consumer protection, because there are already, and but the point is how much of it is practiced. So companies need to know, and they need to protect consumer privacy, because with that, like I said, for long, you cannot operate. You cannot operate for long if obviously consumers are well informed of how their information is manipulated. There are also challenges. For instance, what if someone hacks into your data and gets all that data and use it, or misuse it? So obviously there are concerns, and for that concern, the only way to protect this is to first have a certain, to first regulate it, and companies should religiously follow and understand and protect consumers' data. And I think this can only be, and in the future, I believe there are going to be more challenges, but with those challenges, company will have to make strategies in order to ensure protection. Because see, with this, we're talking about consumer experience and consumer satisfaction. So you cannot ensure consumer satisfaction where in one way you're providing them with what they need, and on the other hand, you're violating or manipulating or misusing data. So this should be in fact made one of the objective, or one of the part to companies should be ensuring that to increase or enhance customer experience and satisfaction. There are concerns about consumers giving access to their data. So data protection laws or data protection policies should be implemented within the company, within the firm. So that's it.
So it's looking more like Internet of Things, and our need for all these devices and apps and all the things available to us is becoming more like a necessary evil. We can't do without them, and at the same time, we just have to deal with what comes with it. I hope that the necessary authorities will take the needed action, because in as much as we need all these things, we equally need our privacy. Okay, thank you for doing justice to that question. Please, do we have any more questions? Okay, in the absence of further questions, can we just, in the chat room, show appreciation to Zainab on this? And while we're at that, I'd like us to take another 10 minutes break before we call in the next speaker. Zainab, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for this in-depth expository journey through Internet of Things. I believe we'll still have more engagement on this, because this is so novel, and we have a lot to catch up on it, especially with the marketers, because we have to do what we have to do at marketers, and if we have to talk about consumer satisfaction, then we equally have to put their privacy into consideration. Definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so Oko is saying thank you so much. Deborah is saying thank you. Moses is saying thank you. And so we'll be up and we'll be back by, should I say, 1:07. So go stretch, have a drink of water, dance, do whatever you feel fit and best. And let's come back for another wonderful session. Ladies and gentlemen, I really want to appreciate you for your time. And I believe that we are really gaining a lot of knowledge in this summit. This summit is such a wonderful one, an impactful one. And one thing I love about the Marketing Professional Network Summit is that it kind of sets you on a new gear for a whole year running. And of course, if you are a member of the Marketing Professional Network, you sure know that every topic that has been dealt with on this summit, we'll revisit it on our knowledge sharing session. All our speakers are generous when it comes to coming back on the platform. So if you're a member of the Marketing Professional Network and you're really enjoying this summit, I think you should let us start having a rethink. Come over, join us on our WhatsApp group, join us on our weekly knowledge sharing sessions. And we'll have a blast over there. Thank you. Okay, welcome. You're gradually coming back. We're gradually coming back. So can someone unmute and just let us know what the whole experience has been like? While we wait for others to come back from their short break, and while we wait for Dio to come and join us, and someone who's been, okay, Dio is here. Okay, so can someone just unmute and let us know what his or her experience has been so far? Can you all hear me? I need someone, you know you've really been enjoying this.
Hello.
Okay, hi, Jim. Okay.
Hi, good
Okay.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Sorry, my camera is not working. Not here, I'm at work. It has been an
Okay.
amazing section so far.
That's good.
And I think I learned to relearn and unlearn some things too.
Okay, share with us.
Yesterday, well, really spend much time here because I'm in the middle of something right now. I just had some minutes and talk. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Stephen, I can see you.
Yeah,
I'm
hello,
calling
good
out.
afternoon.
I'll be calling people out. I'm not going to be good again. I know my class members.
Yes, this has been so wonderful. As in, I'm so happy. I'm delighted, even though I'm still at work. I need to still have
Okay.
some time to go somewhere and listen to this summit. I'm so happy being here. From the first speaker, Mr. Paul Akinola
Akinola.
precisely. It was so awesome. It was nice. As in, I got to understand more of the data stuffs and the
Predictive
rest. Yes, predictive analysis,
analysis.
and I am going to do justice to this.
Whoa.
I must definitely,
Whoa.
I must definitely lay my hands on this and want to kill it all. And I like it anyways, and I'm going to
Okay.
act on it. Yes. And for the
Okay.
second speaker also, yeah, she did well, talking more about how smart gadgets could be helpful to us as a marketer. It's nice. Also, I think it's something we all marketers need to key into to make our work more better. Especially the one she says. Ability to tell someone to know if someone is
Better.
telling a lie or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be so
Yeah.
awesome. That would be so awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would be a
thank you
good
very
way
much.
for all of us to learn how to be mindful of our words.
Yes. Very well. Very well.
Okay, thank you. You guys are making me to feel happy for putting this all together. Okay, so I'm calling out names. Ezwai, are you there?
All right.
Az. Okay, thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much, Stephen. Come, guys, don't hide.
Most welcome.
Yeah, I'll catch you people. I'm strolling. Mr. Moses. Mr. Moses has been with us once when he talked to us on storytelling. He gave us a Saturday session and it was wonderful. Mr. Moses, are you with us? Can we hear from you? People are just, okay, well, I'll find all of you from under the table. Oh, come on the platform. Okay. I'm taking notes. Okay, so we have Mr. Dyer on the platform now. Mr. Dyer, are you ready for us? I know you're ever ready, so that's the wrong question to ask. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling up on the platform Dyer Ayeni. He's been with us before. And interestingly, he was part of the summit last year, and He's been so generous with his time and knowledge. Thank you so much, Dio. And so Mr. Dio will call you up, come and take the stage, and once again blow us away, because that's what the summit has just been about, as in there's so much knowledge flying around. So ladies and gentlemen, back into the data world. You see, even before I could even welcome him in, he's already flashing. Oh my goodness. So take up the stage, Dio. Welcome, and do justice to introducing yourself. When it comes to digital marketing, Dio is a guru, and he's been managing some wonderful accounts. He will just do the talk himself. I can't even introduce him the way he will introduce himself. So let's have a wonderful time. And he has all the stage. Thank you so much. Welcome, Dio.
Okay, afternoon, everyone. It's so much of a privilege every time I have to come do this. I want to say thank you for having me. I know everybody has been having a swell time. I've been here listening to the testimonies and all of that. I want to also say that for every bit of conversation that you listen to here, it may sound like, oh, it's normal, it's easy, it looks like, oh, one new lesson. The best thing you can do with any new knowledge you gather is putting it to use. I've learned a lesson that many of us would attend a lot of conferences, many things, many things. I can tell you from personal experience that went some of the big schools and all of that, and then we get back home and at least we don't even implement 20% of what we learn in some of those environments. Please, I want us all to go back to the drawing boards and look at what it takes. You know, yesterday I spoke about different things, the AI marketing. I know Mr. Paul, very crazy guy with some of his ideas. When he was running affordable, is it possible and affordables? We did some projects together in the furniture thing. And I can tell you for free that people are doing a lot of big things. And you come in here, you've not made some mistakes. They put together a summit, you're taking your time to be here for 2 days. I need to say thank you. And Kachi, Ayo, I was trying to reach Mr. Ayo yesterday, was his birthday, but it seems my cake was not big enough, so I couldn't reach him. And I want to say happy birthday to him. And Kachi has been doing a great job here, putting together the summit, reaching out to people, following up, making sure the communication goes well. Thank you for also taking your time to come. You need to celebrate yourself personally, because it's people who want to develop or grow their minds that come together part-time to learn more. And that's one capacity most people have refused to develop over the years. Now, we'll be talking about some advanced strategies in digital marketing, and I will just mention a few, try to walk around it. It may not be as exhaustive as you want, but just note that we'll start our engagement from there. The first thing I always like to start with is sometimes a short story. I read the book, The Vision, a couple of years ago, and this started the book. Talks every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up. It knows I must run faster than the slowest gazelle, or it will starve. Else, the other way around also for the gazelle is that the gazelle must always put behind his mind that it would run faster. I couldn't get a lion and a gazelle, so I used the zebra here. The zebra or the other, with the gazelle or the zebra or the other animal must know that it must outrun the lion or must be killed. And this is how it works. You know, some people say it's a dog eat dog environment. Some people say it's a dog there are different environments. Like if you watch the movie, will detail the story of the McDonald's story. When the two brothers, which is the movie is called Founders, when the two brothers, one had a response, almost had an heart attack, it was at the hospital, and the guy who got their franchise from them, who took over that company from them, came to give them $1 million and said to them that, you know what, it's a dog eat dog environment. And I want to tell you, really, it's dog eat dog. So sometimes you think you're doing your best and all of that, then you see a bigger dog that will eat the other smaller dogs. You think you're doing well, and that's why people like to kill their competition. So you must wake up every morning and look for strategies that are better than your strategies of yesterday. There are people who wake up and discover that, like if the lion wakes up and have not developed capacity, the gazelle or the zebra you can see in the picture may have gone to China to get faster bikes. So when they see the lion, they move very fast with little energy, and they are running, and the lion is chasing the bikes and he can't catch them. Then the lion is prepared to starve to die. Meanwhile, on the other side, if the gazelle had not woken up and lion had gone to maybe learn some things from Europe, maybe uh, from the Palestinian and Israeli fight, and see that, oh, we can use iron drone in what we're doing here, iron defense drone system. Why not? They'll just stay in their own house and be waiting for these gazelle to come out, and then they fire and kill with strategy. So it's a lot of skill that you need to learn part time. The world is changing fast. Last year was COVID, and now it's post-COVID, and things are changing. Are you catching up with your numbers and all of that? Those are the things that make us want to look at these strategies. Now, every business is a shark. Now, they want to beat you at all costs, and you must have that behind your mind. You must have that. Somebody out there don't care. They don't care who you are. They don't like your face and all of that. Every day there is one new drink coming up in town, one new, if it's not Coca-Cola, Pepsi, those are the popular ones. There is always somebody taking a share of their market every day. There is a big campaign going on for the past 3-4 years about going organic, going natural and all of that. And then that created a whole new industry in Nigeria. So that is taking a bit of the share of Coca-Cola or something, or of Pepsi or Biggie or anything. So you must always be aware that everybody is like a shark. So some people now see, oh, this is a big gap. Now they start going to the villages to go and do stuff, go and get oranges, and now they are doing the organic orange, and it's more expensive than a bottle of Coke. I think it was last year I also mentioned that, for example, there is something called the mind share of a customer. So for a customer, for example, who has 200 naira, I think there was a research carried out by McKinsey or so, I'm not sure where I read that from. In Nigeria, that says that, for example, a customer has 200 naira, will he rather buy data or buy airtime or buy a bottle of Coke? Largely, the telcos were the people who won that conversation, because people may do without drinking a bottle of Coke, but they can't do without the communication. They will prefer, oh, give us data, give us stuff, than to give us drink when they are not in fact. So you need to start looking at how those things vary, how those things work. So it's a shark environment. Now, some of the strategies I'll be discussing will cover a bit of SEO, promotion, automation, programmatic marketing, responsive mobile apps, and all of the influencer marketing, and more. So SEO techniques. I know many of us have heard about SEO. You've heard about SEO. It's been mentioned. An average person, that word has been bastardized severally in front of you. Oh, SEO, SEO. And it's nice. It's good, SEO. And what is SEO? That's search engine optimization. How do people do all those things? So in recent time, when I sit down with businesses, I see that, oh, they say they are doing SEO. And then I ask, what exactly are you doing that they call SEO? That's search engine optimization. There's also search engine marketing, also by the side there. So I will tell you a few pointers that you should quickly take advantage of. So for example, if you're just running the regular rudiment of business and you're not running a very massive business, or a business that requires you design your website from scratch, where they need to do the Figma, then from Figma, they do the conversions. I would say use WordPress. You can manage your WordPress website yourself. Now, after you've passed that stage where you manage your or you've done your WordPress, what do you need to push to make your website rank when people search for you? Some key things you need to know. So that will cover for blog mention, post, and video captions. I will just quickly explain all of this in a compressed manner. Now, the first thing you want to know about a blog post is that make sure your blog posts come with bullet points. Make sure your blog posts come with bullet points, either number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it comes as point 1, point 2, or A, B, C, D, or you give your bullet points as how to. You do it in stage, step 1, step 2, step 3, when you're listing stuff on your blog. This is how the Google algorithm works. If you pick up your phone as I was talking now and you search how to cook maybe edikaikon, how to do amala, how to do eba, how to live longer and all of that, the first few searches you will find on Google, you would see them listed like bullet points. You see 10 points, 20 points, and all of that, because you need to come from from the user perspective. So users don't go online and go and check for how for words like government, constitutional right to citizen in Nigeria. Except you're a lawyer, they'll probably never do that. But when they want to search for stuff, they will come like what to say when police arrest me. You will see people search for words like that. Rather than prepare your blog in that manner that looks very complex or academic in its approach, I would advise that you prepare your blog in such a way that looks like a user conversation. So it must have highlights, it must have straight points, it must have bullet points, it must have keywords. So in your keywords, when they say keywords need to rank, what are the keywords that you want to put in your blog post? So in your layout of your copy or when you write, after your first paragraph, make sure you have bullet points. So that is taken note of. Also start doing guest blogging. Now, how does guest blogging work? I have maybe 6, 7 blogs who maybe my friends own them, or I don't even know the owners. I write to them. I say, okay, I see you're doing stuff. You have maybe, I have people who have written to likes of Bella Nigeria, because I'm dealing with the context of Nigeria, as it were. I have people who write for Quark. I like people who I have somebody who go on Quora like every 2 days to just go and answer somebody's question. What it does is that the day they will be searching for content around that, you would see a lot of your content, your name, and then they will come up because these blogs already have high ranking. Now, mentions. You also want to have mention come in 2 ways. There's a mention blog, and then there is a backlinks. So you can also create backlinks on your blog. You see a content that looks very fantastic from a particular blog, pick the content, the caption and everything, repost it on your blog, and at the end, put a reference to where you got your content from. That means that the thing that make that content rank in the first place, maybe you search for how to change my crankshafts in my car, and then you see all that was written about, you copy that whole content and you put it in your own blog and put the reference. That same content will also help your blog to rank. Now, also doing guest blogging also give you some advantage. So sometimes I get these interviews from Business Day, Guardian, just mention all the Nigerian newspapers. So sometimes when I get on those newspapers and I get these interviews, go there 2 days after, you see smaller blogs that have carried my interviews and have posted it on their own blog. Some of them just do straight feeders. And by the time I check, I see like almost 20 other people have published what the Business they have done, what the Guardian has done, what the Sun newspaper had published. So that mention gives you an elaborate opportunity. Now, video captions. Now, this also speaks to likes of YouTubes and all of that. So sometimes you see an ad running on maybe on your YouTube, you watching the object you want to watch. If you check the caption of such ads by the corner, you'll see that the file name still remains the name that the producer used to send it to the company. So maybe the name is, maybe it was sent from WhatsApp. You see WhatsApp.mp4 and all of that. That is a very wrong thing to do. You will lose audience. Now, if you also want people to search for your downloadables, now this is not even here, for people to search for your downloadables, the caption of what you're updating what you're uploading is very, very important. So for example, we worked on a strategy for a particular religious body, a church, and we wanted to get them to rank, very well. And after we've gone back and forth, we started putting up content like that talks about maybe pregnancy, content for children, content for different people. But when we save that file, we'll do cartoons for age 5, drawings for my children. Those are the things we used to save it. And when we upload, what happens is that that's what the user search for. So the algorithm will automatically spool through the internet and look for those captions, even if they are downloadables. It will bring up your website and show that this is a link that goes to this particular place. But I know for some of us who search for how to make proposal for, how to get an agreement, for maybe a contract, how to sample of contracts for restaurants. Now, when you do that, you will see samples of different types, but you will see some that will be .doc, some will be PPT, some will be Excel and all of that. Now, it's because the way they save those files originally on those websites. So you want to be sure that the images, the captions you're using, your video captions are very clear. If you go to your YouTube, for example, for some of us who have YouTube or you engage on YouTube, do you have hashtags on your YouTube? Do you have what they call it now? Do you have engagement points on your YouTube? The caption below, the content you wrote below your video on your YouTube, are they links that are clickable? For example, we worked on one for a church not too far from where I stay, and it was a comedian. And as I speak to you now, the comedian has over 2 million views on his video. And mere using that comedian that came to perform at that church and all of his crowd, we now have about 20,000 people who subscribed on that channel. So you want to be sure that the kind of placement you do for some of your videos and all of that is able to drive the required followership and the engagement you're looking for. You see that likes of maybe in Nigeria, like Anajebo, for example, took his YouTube seriously from last year. You see that the kind of things that that comedian is releasing and all of that. Even if you go to his Instagram today, you will see that he's showing that he has a video in 5 months that has 10 million views. Now he's making a lot from that. So we're not going into his figures, but let's just keep it at that. Now, promotions. Now, promotions, you must continuously be in the state of promoting something continuously. And when I mean continuously, as much as you can within your power, create a continuous budget for promotions and advertising. Most people think it's a one-off. It's like getting married and you think that the day you get married, that is the last day you show love. Okay, I've married and I've scaled the order and I'm gone. So you need to be able to go consistently. And when I mean consistently, you need to be able to create every kind of promotional material. So shopping carts, for example, online, as you go through your shopping carts, you need to do that. If you're doing a bit of physical marketing, this is not popular in Nigeria or in this part of the world, but your shopping carts, you need to brand them. You need to do a lot of branding. Like you don't go around pushing carts in the mall and you're not communicating anything. And that is the most engaging item that people use when they go into a mall. Now, if you go online too, that whole process needs to be addressed. Abandonment. I will just quickly talk about abandoned carts. So the whole concept behind abandoned carts for people who are hearing for the first time is that when you go online and you try to make a purchase, for example, you buy maybe iPhone, and at the point where you put in all your data and you want to exit, your card was not working, or you got a call, or your internet got destabilized, or your laptop stopped working, or the website just keeps rolling and it's not going through, or something just go wrong. Now they have lost you at that point of purchase. On a good day, it happens in real life too, the normal life that people live. So in some supermarkets that you go to, they don't have sufficient parking space. So after you've parked, then somebody standing behind you or parked behind you or in front of you, then they call you that, please, Mr. XYZ, you parked your car, you need to come out and repark your car, you park behind somebody that needs to exit. You abandon your cart in the mall, you come outside, you try to repark your car. Maybe in the process, maybe the security guard upset you and you just get angry. I've not even bought anything and you drove off. Now that mall has made a loss because you were not able to go through with your transaction. Now online, similar to that, maybe the website was not working and all of that. So those are abandoned carts on two different cases. Online is easy to fix. The one for the offline, nobody knows except for the security guard. Maybe he didn't direct you well, or maybe somebody just hit your car from behind and then it becomes a whole rancor and noise, all of that. So what you do for that abandoned cart is very simple. Online, once you discover that a customer goes through this process and got to this point and abandon it, you set up a set of sequence on your website. These are things you can see on MailChimp. You can find it on Active, what is this? Active Campaign and all of those kind of websites. Well, when you set up this when you set up this automated process for abandoned carts, the person who drops this cart, you will just tell the system to trigger after 3 hours. If this person does not complete this transaction, send a mail to this person. So the first mail will be, hi, Mr. Obina, we noticed that you were trying to make a purchase of iPhone on our website. And they will put a big picture of the iPhone, something there, and say that you didn't complete that transaction. Do you mind if we help you complete the transaction? What may have gone wrong? Then you set up another automation that says that after 24 hours, trigger another email that says that, please, Mr. So and so, you didn't complete your transaction. Do you mind if we know what is wrong? Is it that the internet was not going through, the websites had issues? Is it that your payment card was this and all of that? Obviously, from the back end, you can see what is wrong with that person's transaction. But because it's automated, you can't go over everybody's transaction. Automation send that. Maybe after 3 days, then they send him another option of, okay, Mr. Obina, we noticed you tried to buy the iPhone. It didn't go through. Will you like to check out our Samsung, our Infinix, our Tecno, our Injo phones? These are other opportunities for you to purchase. They are within the same price range and some are lesser. Now you keep upselling, you keep following up till you can get the conversion that you need, because your money is actually in your conversion in marketing. Your money is in the follow-up. Your money is in the follow-up. Please always note that, because I know sometimes when I ask my guys, oh, have you followed up? And I'll say, we called him once, he didn't pick. Last week we spoke to him. That is not follow-up. If you've ever worked with Indians and you've ever tried to make a purchase from Indians, I know some of them have spoken who are from that nationality, they follow up very, very well. And when I mean they follow up to a point where you yourself, you feel guilty that you didn't make a purchase. Now, that is the abandoned cart model. So more elaborately, you can read about it, how to handle abandonment during sales and promotion. Now, also remarketing. So you go search for maybe where to buy good bags in Nigeria. Then a website, maybe Jumia Konga, shows up. You click, you look at it, and then you go away. What happens is that your IP has been marked. They've released cookies to you. You've accepted the cookies. You say you always accept that you see below a website. After you've accepted that I accept cookies, what happens is that they keep remarketing you. So everywhere page you open, you see that advert of a bag, and then they put other options of shoe, trousers. They put option of a belt, option of socks just beside it. Everywhere you go to, on every Google network. Now they would set up a sequence that says, remarket this guy for 41 times, remarket this guy for 71 times, remarket this guy for 10 times. If this guy does not take action or click on any of the advert, then exit and introduce another product to him. These are things that you do behind. And that remarketing model works everywhere, because what you see consistently, before you know what's happening, you begin to desire it. Let me give you another instance. I remember in my early days in the university, we had these people were a particular set of religion and all of that, and they didn't like the songs that the other boys who were playing was in the dormitory. They didn't like the boys' songs they were always playing. Back in the days, it was CD and was it CD? Yeah, it was CD that they used to play. So the noise would keep coming and all. And these are guys who would wake up in the night and go and pray and do all of that. Then one day, one of these guys who were in the 500 level was washing his plate outside, and he started singing that song. And one of them caught him and said, Brother Bello, you are singing this song and all of that. And then it was a joke and all of that. It took me many years to understand what had happened. Consistently, because he had heard the song over and over and over in his subconscious, he had started singing it. And that is the power of remarketing. So even if you don't like the song, you will know the lyrics if you've heard it over and over long enough. And why do children build a retentive memory through song? So most of the things you don't want people to forget, put it in a song, and they will continuously remember. Some of the songs you sang in your primary school days and all of that, you cannot forget in a hurry. I will still show you one or two kind of ads that will probably not forget, as it were. Now then, bundle versus single. People like to buy the bundle approach rather than do single approach. So you see, they don't do all of these things out of the blues. You don't wake up and do and then see people who are succeeding in what they do, and then somebody says, oh, this is not how it works. It works this other way. This is not what it is. Now gather bundles. Tell people, for example, we tested out something for a client. We got a book, the client's book, and we say if you get these 3 books, you get free delivery. But if you buy a single book, you also have to pay for delivery. A lot of people went for 3 books because they didn't want to pay for delivery. Meanwhile, it's still relatively the same cost, whether you put in delivery or not. We have factored in all the costs into the conversation. So you want to learn how that works, how to use the bundle, then lowering your cost. So in promotion, when they say the lower cost, actually, it's just it's another gimmick, as it were, in promotions. But my time is fast spent, so I need to move fast. Now, automations. Automations is the lifeline of any business that needs to survive. I know some of us have never seen Brian Tracy before. Some of us have never seen John Maxwell before. Some of us have never come across Anthony Robbins, all of those guys who you receive their emails regularly. The lifeline of any product is in emails. So why do you think people go back to Facebook, they go back to Instagram, they go back to all these places? It's automations and notifications that are bringing people back. So you will just sit in your house one day and then you hold your phone and then you see that Facebook is having something like 12 and a circle on top of it, or 13 and a circle on top of it. You want to quickly open Facebook and see who has done that notification to you, who have sent it to you, who have sent you something. That is how notification works. Any app you ever develop and you don't put notification in there, you're about to kill the app dead on arrival. I can mention to you there are apps that Nigerians have developed, even the best and the people who are very rich, which went viral in the first 1 week, but died a natural death because of no notification. Now, automation is a system where, for example, we did this for a lending company last year. If, for example, you go to their website and you want to lend money, they'll tell you to put in your phone number, your email, your name, and then your BVN and all. After you put in all those details, then they will now run through and say, okay, how much do you earn as salary? You put maybe 100,000. They can lend you 30% of that, which is 30,000. Then they will now run a CIRS score against the database to check if you are owing money. You see that point, that first point where they collect your phone number, email, and all of that. All they just sieve into our own automated process. So the first thing you receive is a welcome email. Hi, welcome. Belinda, It's great to have you on our platform today and all of that. 2 days after, he sent you another email, how to lend money from our platform. 10 reasons you must borrow money from us. Why you do this? And then before you know what's happening, you have entered a sequence. What it is that they've designed sequence for 52 weeks, and you cannot exit that process at all. So anywhere you send text message, this one, and they keep sending you emails consistently. Same way when you go and they say you want to download book, a free book, they ask for, you know what you are using to pay. You are using your phone number, your email to pay as the currency. You give them, and then they tell you, okay, you can download now. For a lifetime, they'll be sending you emails at their own will because you are voluntarily giving your information up. Then they will ask you one very salient question, which you would not even sometimes say, I agree. Are you willing to accept emails from us, promotional and all of that at any time? If you click it, you will not even read. You just say, I agree. They've taken your data, you have agreed, you have signed. They'll be sending you emails continuously. Banking SMS to work that way. You see many banks, they'll be sending you all kind of SMS and emails, but automation is a big one on its own. It's something that I keep saying that if you don't do it, especially all the people that do coaching, you sell products and all of that, you will lose a lot of market. If you're into service, you must continuously look for things to share with people continuously. If, for example, you ever subscribe for Paystack is so good with this thing. Every day for the first 6 months, you are receiving different kind of, let me say you are flooding at it. Most time people will just delete. They don't use to unsubscribe because they don't even know where to unsubscribe. Or they go into their mail and they see. What they do is that they are continuously staying on your mind. You open your email, you come across them. You will now become Toma. They come to the place where they become Toma in your life. Toma means top of mind awareness. So there is that top of mind. Anytime you remember something, you marry it to these guys. Anytime you remember something, same way you remember maybe Suya, you remember that it happens in the night. So that thing marries to the mind. Now, responsive websites. This one, some of us are guilty of it. Some of us are not guilty of it. Some have good websites and the website speed can be crawling. These are things you need to test yourself. So what is your user interface like? When I come to your website, I just look at the website interface. I say, wow, this website looks good. And I want to explore further. Now, the next thing is that the user experience. How easy is it for me to go from point A to point B to the end of a transaction? You click on some website. After that fine website, the next thing you are saying inside, the images are not well aligned. You see big font, small font, H1, all of those things, you are struggling with it. You don't know that the user just keep looking at these things and then they walk away. If you've been privileged to watch a movie called The Social Dilemma, I think you should take time, go on Netflix and just watch it. It talks about what they call persuasive technology. It's something I'm still going back to school to study in full and talk to some of the professors of persuasive technology. And interestingly, in Canada, a Nigerian is the head of the Committee for Governance for Persuasive Technology, one Professor Rita. And you would see what magicians used to do. Back in the days, you see a magician comes and once he's outside, he's eating blade, he's eating bottles, people will be gathering, people will be everywhere. People will be, so what exactly do these people do that makes all this crowd? I remember many of us would recall the Professor Pella, all those guys that come, they do magic and the whole hall is filled up. You'll be wondering, why do Wizkid and all of them full a hotel? They want to do concerts. The whole place is filled up. What is the secret behind these guys? It's the user experience. So they listen to the song to a point where the song make them feel in a particular way. If you check the videos of Michael Jackson, it was as bad as in the days of Michael Jackson. There's a course on it in Harvard that talked about case study for musicians. Beyonce even comes to class to take some of those classes, where you will sit down and then you see that Michael Jackson will come on stage and people will be falling off and be fainting as if they're under anointing. And then you're wondering what else. So, in this part of the world, we'll say spirit is evil spirit and all of that. No, it's not evil spirit. It's something that these guys have sold in their user experience. That, they just feel starstruck when they see these guys. They just fall off. Now, if I come to use your product, is that experience like that? Do I feel that experience that, wow, I cannot do without this person? That's why some people say, oh, if you go and eat in that woman's place, if you test her food, yeah, now we all believe that, largely in this part of the world. I know some people believe, oh, the woman must have put something inside that food. Actually, some of the roadside food is sweeter than the ones you buy in the eatery. It's just a user experience. But usually the problem is that their interface does not make it, which is the point where you come in contact with them. So you see them by the roadside, the woman is not well dressed, her pots are everywhere, the tables are not well arranged. And that is how you must also picture your business. What's your interface like when it comes to your website? What's the user experience? What's the speed of loading? There are places where I remember I was coming, I've traveled that route like almost 6-7 times now. So somewhere in Ekiti, almost exiting, you will get there, you will see that they are pounding yam, and then you are the one that will go and wash your plates and bring your plate for the pounded yam to be given to you. When you do that, then you go and collect soup. The meat, they don't sell you. There's another woman that sells meat there. So you go carry plate and go and make the woman to collect. And I kept asking that, how is these people surviving? But I discovered that for every time we drove past that road, we must always stop at that spot, buy the bushmeat and the pounded yam and everything. And it was by the roadside. So I kept asking, what is the speed of delivery here? What is the experience? Why do I always come back here? It was all of these things all put together. Now, usability is another thing. So you do a website, you're saying you're doing giveaway, and people can't even sign up properly. They get there and the thing is rolling. For example, I'm doing a meal plan, and I saw an app online, that talks about meal plan, a Nigerian app, and I looked at it, they say, for 44,000 naira, they'll give me food through the month. I should just pick what I want, and then the address they'll be delivering my food. I got to the middle of the whole thing. I didn't understand what these guys were talking of again. I didn't understand at all. I didn't get the whole conversation again. We get to a point, okay, so they said jollof rice, all of those things. So I picked like 4 meals and they said that's the max I can pick. So I'm willing to pay more. I sent them a message, no response, nothing. Usability. I came to point of exit, no place to pay money. Are they going to call me till today? I'm waiting 3 weeks, nobody has called me. So it's usability. So you see that some people are just there and nothing is getting results for them. So let's quickly talk about influencer marketing. So influencer marketing comes in different levels. It's not until you get a Tiwa Savage or a Wizkid or a C. Ronaldo behind your brand that influencer marketing happens. So there are people who do crowd approach, who gets the crowd to come behind them. There are people who go the other route of using influencers for their coupons, so leveraging audience. So there are content that you do. For example, if you have high followership, and then your users can spread that content all across. So I know there's a popular language in Nigeria in recent time, like there's no money on ground, cut soap for me, all those things. They are leveraging the audience to spread a particular message. Imagine it was a brand that championed it, like when Pepsi did longer throats. Everybody could relate with it because it was our organic language as a country. So everybody began to talk about longer throats, and it became a bit of influence around. Now we talk about cut soap for me. It was just some comedy skits that arrived at cut soap for me. So how do you sell your campaign? How do you leverage? Because you need to know the language the market uses per time and how to even jumpstart language or conversations in the market. Like I had over the weekend, there is Dr. Anu, Shedi Balabala, all those kind of things. Those are different languages that come out from the generation that you are selling to. Except your product is for old people, maybe people are maybe very old people, but a generation below 40 now, you will find different languages. You'll find people even doing memes, you do a choke, all those things. They're all languages. And how do you, so what is it this guy that sings the video just came out there and say choke. And today everybody's doing a choke. How do you even know the meaning of a choke? Do you know why he said it? We don't even know. Everybody we just jump on it. And the bad one going of the whole thing is that he's an influencer. So he can come tomorrow and say kill them. Everybody will start using kill them. And we don't even know what the background is. So influencer coupon It's usually an influencer coupon code is another thing that people use. So for example, oh, because you watch this video, if you go to their website, you put in this coupon, this is going to work for you. Then affiliate marketing is another thing that people do a lot. It's very similar to network marketing in its way. So, so I'll just quickly just go through this. So understand that digital transformation is an era, user experience and how it can be, ability to understand that digital disruption has happened and we must all yield to it. Now, customer insight. This is where you talk about data. This is one part you must never dabble with. Even if you don't understand what the people advertising for you for, always ask for reports. Go behind on your Facebook and just go and look at what Facebook is showing you, what your Instagram is showing you, what your website readings are. Okay, where are the people coming to visit? Which part of your website did they visit the most? Like your Google Analytics. Always make sure your website has that Google Analytics. You can just read, you will see the tree. It will show you a tree of how the user came, where they drop off from and all of that. What was the experience? Why did they behave that way? Why wouldn't they behave that way? Why? So you can interpret because you need your customer insight. You see, that data is the lifeline of your business. So you see people who make data-based experience questions. So for example, we work with a church, a very, at that time, Daystar. And we used to do this physical bulletin. When we did statistics in church, we noticed that the people who were picking the bulletin were dropping and dropping. So people gave us their emails. So every Saturday now we send you bulletin and our open rate was crazy because people want to have their bulletins before they go to church. Now, in some of the churches we work for, we noticed that, because of the kind of age bracket we're dealing with, because of the kind of people we're dealing with, do you know that some churches earn more offering online than that physical thing that you give on Sunday, where people hold the envelope and raise up their hands in church? But because we're able to study those data, same thing goes to some brand. So you're hearing that cement is expensive, they stop production of cement. Those guys are using data to play with you. So they know where to allocate cement per region. And then people will rush and go to that region. They have all of those things. They're all dealing with data. You will see government will tell you that they will close this road and these are the alternative roads they will be given to you. They are using data to make that decision. You'll discover that, so like in California, there are some new traffic lights that they brought out recently, who can track traffic, meaning that during peak hours, if people are coming, for example, if the traffic light is in the middle of the city and the people coming from the left, they have maybe 1,000 cars coming from the left and people coming from the right are just about 100 cars. It will give more light to the people on the left that has 1,000 cars because of AI and its experience. Yesterday we talked about AI. You need to know that these things are already in marketing. For example, you go to the airports, like in Nigeria, this airport, Muritala Mohammed, MM2, that's local. There is a billboard in that airport that I know of, not like I hear, we placed stuff on that website, on that billboard, that can count the number of times that you look at it. The only thing it's not been able to differentiate is to differentiate whether it's one person that looked at it like 10 times or 20 times. But it can tell you that by 7 a.m. in the morning, we had about 1,000 people who checked. Then by 8:15, about 6,000 people checked. Then this change, these were the angles, this was the angle of elevation, this was what happened, this was the exact ad that was on that billboard at that time. And if you look at the billboard, it looks transparent, it looks like nothing, but we're capturing data. We are able to predict with that to know when we will put the best ad. So when MTN comes to us, we can tell you that MTN will put your ad by 7, because consistently over the past 7 days, over the past 10 days, this peak hour has been happening. So a lot of people are within the airport at that time and they are going to see this ad. So let's put it there at 7 a.m. So these are logics that you must always not joke with. Then assessment models and your sales model, the email marketing is always relevant, always relevant. Then build apps and all of that. And then I quickly would round up with this short stuff. Now make your ads story-based. How many of us remember the story of Udeme? My friend Udeme is a great man. I will quickly just show you some other one. Look at Baba Blue. It's a very interesting one too. Thought-provoking campaign. Baba Blue, I swear I'm not going to do them again. Those ads you cannot forget. Then this one that was done by Kilimanjaro, it was an interesting one. So they took the pictures of our heroes past, showing that they came to it as Kilimanjaro. So you see Awolowo and all of that here. And these are kind of captions and kind of designs that your user want to experience. Now, how do you think outside of the box? So I remember, was it Children's Day last year, where people did some adverts on how to reset a Nigerian child and how was it like when you were young and what. So you see different kind of tools that the parents used to use to correct their child when in your younger age. Now, you must be able to think in the user perspective because those are the things that your user can relate with. So you want to be sure of that, and that comes to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for having me, please.
Thank you very much, Dio.
Thank you,
I told you, Dio will take us on a roller coaster.
Thank you very much.
And actually, Dio, what have you done to us? Where do we start from? As in, for people like us that our ministry is still small, where do you want us to just start from? So people are already saying thank you. They're saying thank you. Okay, please, I want to remind you that these materials, the slides and the videos are available to you if you're interested in having the slides and the videos. And of course, the certificate, because this summit comes with a certificate, just like last year's one. You can reach out to us. You all got emails. Send us an email and let us know that you want it at a price of 10,000 naira. And you will get to have all these things all to yourself. The materials, the videos, and of course, a certificate. So at this point, please, I want to open up the floor for questions. We've all sat diligently listening to Dio, and he's just spoken advanced digital marketing strategy. And I want to strongly believe that we have questions. So there are no questions in the chat room, but if you have questions, please, you can raise your hands. This is meant to be interactive. It's meant for us to open up and ask questions. Believe me, I don't know when next you'll have Dio come and talk to us on this, of course, except if you're 1 p.m., but that shouldn't be an excuse. So do you have questions, comments, contributions? You want to say thank you? And of course, I'm the best class teacher. So it took a lot to put this together, and I am going my normal way. So should I call names? Who are those who are interested in digital marketing? Okay, my co-moderator is interested in digital marketing. So I'll ask Terry, do you have any questions, Mr. Dyer? Yeah, Michael, you can unmute and ask your question. Thank you very much for opening the question for Michael Denver.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. We'd love to have your video on, if possible.
Yeah, possible. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Dayo, for your insightful topic. But I want to ask this question: what determines the speed when you are designing your website? And is the speed how is it measured? Discrete, or is it fast and slow, or discrete? Because I noticed that in some sites they open just fast, some a little fast, some very, very slow. They're not even opening at all. And when you now open your own website and it tends to open like an average, you felt okay, maybe it's good, but I don't know if there is a discrete way a website should open in terms of speed, so that we know whether our website is doing well or is far, far below expectation. That's my question. Thank you.
Okay. Finally, I get to see Mr. Mike again after many years.
All right.
Me too. I get to see him too. So you have been hiding away for a lot of people.
Me too. I've been looking for him. He abandoned me. Michael, you must report yourself.
Him now.
Okay,
you must report yourself.
I'll do that, sir.
So Mr. Dio, let's use some digital marketing strategies to hook him up somewhere around there. Do you have any options like that? Now we can use to monitor him. I know when he's going to leave.
I just know he's selling steel recently. I saw him post some picture of irons recently, or some steel.
Yeah.
Okay, so a quick one. The thing that goes into affecting the website, as it were, start from your hosting company, where you host your website, your domain and host. It goes a long way to determine even if people will ever see even your website when it comes up. That is one. The other thing is the elements they use to design your website. So some people take very bulky images and put it on your website. So you must tell them that, look, I want things that are very, very slight, not heavy, light stuff, as my sliders, as the image of maybe directors and all of that. It's very, very important that you have that. Now, the third thing is also the elements that are used, as in like where your website is designed. Is it designed with HTML? Is it with a Java-based element? All of those things also come to play. So you want to be sure what they are using. That's why I said if you're just a primary user, maybe you should just do a WordPress or look for a simple HTML one-pager website. Some people want to load video on their website. Instead of hosting your video on YouTube and then put a frame in your website that will call the video when people click. That's all you need to do. So YouTube will be doing the job of the loading, but most times some people put it on their website, so it slows down the website. Now you can also go and check for your mobility and your website speed on Facebook, on Google. Just Google it up and check for your website speed. It will tell you all the things that you need to know, or maybe if you go and check for if you have broken links and all of that, it can show you. So if you take care of these three primary elements, it will help you determine, get a better speed in terms of your website. So I think that's a good one to start with.
All right. Thank you. I think that will help.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tayo, for that. Thank you. Thank you, YMPM, from getting Mr. Mike Adenigo to reconnect with people that have been looking for him. Okay, so at this point, before we call for more questions, please, we'll need more feedback. We need more feedback on our experience on this summit. We need more feedback. We got some feedback before we started this session, and I believe we've all been sitting through because this summit has been adding value to us. So please, if you want to share your experience of this summit, how it's been impacting knowledge you've gained, what you plan to do with what you've gained going forward. Okay, anybody? Our chat room is quiet. Okay, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, I'm going to pick at random. Okay, so Jumoke, we had a deal yesterday. Are you still with me here? Hello? Jumoke?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to know your feedback.
You said?
Your feedback on the summit.
On the summit, I think I spoke the other time. It has
Okay.
been an amazing section, and I think I really learned a lot.
Okay.
Mr. Dayo has really spoken well, and I enjoyed the section.
And what do you plan to do with your takings?
You said?
What do you plan to do with your takings?
My takings. Well, I'm going to teach others, and I'm going to relearn when I have time to do that.
Okay, that's good. Does someone else have anything to share with us? This is a yearly summit. Okay.
Okay, so good afternoon once more again, Mr. Dayo Ayeni. Really touched the point, really was hitting those salient points I've always been saying in terms of marketing, especially when it comes to that abandonment precisely, and also marketing. I've always seen a lot of mails popping up in my own email address because definitely I have gone to a particular place to either do some shoppings and I couldn't continue because of let me come back later and revisit it. So they keep on sending me notification of my email address, especially some other sites in which I have gone to, and it is really a real scenario he brought up there. But I was asking in the chat box, but I didn't see it. So what do you mean by bundles versus single? I would like to know what bundles versus single. Maybe I didn't get that point. I would like Mr. Dara to share more light on this for me. Thank you very much. And also for the promotions, automations, responsive app, web designing, and influencer marketing and customer insights, most especially. I think I'll be able to do more on that. I have to keep on working on it and see how it goes, especially on that customer insight, because as marketers, we need to know what our customers want and based on products precisely so that we can know where to drive our focus to. Thank you very much.
Okay. Maybe I should quickly speak to that. Now, when you talk about bundle versus single, so for example, I don't know if you've ever been to the market and you're discussing with the woman who sells tomatoes and say, oh, this tomato is 200 naira. And then after a while, you would discover that you can tell her that, will you give me 3 tomatoes for 500 naira? That is bundle sales.
Awesome.
Now, another thing you also notice, if, for example, you buy TV or any of those things, they will also tell you it comes with the wall brace and all of that. It's factored in. The cost is already factored into the cost of purchase. So those are the kind of bundle approach that you would use for some of the conversations that you're looking at. So you want to look at, they'll tell you buy one and get one free. Actually, there's no free lunch anywhere. Nothing is free.
Even in free
time. Somebody is paying and you're the one paying. It's just that they will write it there that is free. So those are bundle approach. So you will see that people will yield, they'll quickly go and buy and all of that. Or if you go to all the people that do sales, after they say, you buy this, that, don't worry. You get home and you discover that, look, this thing I bought is not the kind of quality I'm looking for. It's because they gave you at that level that looks like a bundle. It looks like it came with it and all of that. I remember, was it this Japanese stuff, ministry or something? You just discover that when you buy something, they always want to give you something free. People feel guilty because, oh, they are getting something free. So people begin to like There was a time when Visa card had a partnership with Spur, where when you buy something above 5,000 naira, you get a gift. All those things are just all marketing approach because they want you to spend more. So you know that, oh, so if your stuff is 4,000 naira, you're looking for a way to buy 1,000 naira extra from the store. And it's just a logic. They are the ones making the money. You are the one bringing in the money for them. So all of those are the approach that they use for those bundle approach. So they'll tell you pay for one whole year on maybe Netflix or your internet, or you'll be paying 12,000 every month. Rather pay 10,000 now and pay for 12 months, which is a guaranteed income for them already. They've collected your money. And then rather than pay 12,000 every month. So you are looking at the difference you are going to lose. They are looking at the money they are going to get from you, bundle and guaranteed as a customer.
Okay.
So that's just the logic.
Okay. Just like the one the DSTV and the GoTVs are doing right now. That if you subscribe now, they will upgrade you to a particular a particular one. Then while you go there, then you start paying that particular bouquet.
Exactly. So when you have that experience, so if you've even been to hotels, they do the same thing. They'll tell you, oh, because you pay this amount, but that room is no longer available, to put you at presidential suite. You get there. The following day, they want to downgrade you. You say, no, don't worry, I'll pay the difference. Don't worry, I'll be here. That's happened to me several because you also don't want to go lesser.
Okay.
Same way, if you're using a Toyota 2015, I'll be let's say 2020, I'll be okay, let's say I do a 2010. You don't want to go and buy a Toyota of 20 or 2000. You want to keep upgrading, and it's just a style. And if you've studied that model, that's how it works.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate Mr. Dayo Ayemi.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you, Dayo. So I'm leaving this open for just one more person to share his or her experience taking contribution at the session. Okay, there's a question.
Experience. People are sharing their experience.
Okay, so
people are sharing their experiences on the comments. So we can read that too.
Okay, Rubina said, thank you everyone for an amazing session. Listening to in-depth speakers added to our learning curve. Wow, thank you so much coming from Rubina. And who else? Abiola said the session is quite educative for me. Thank you. Thank you very much, Abiola. Thank you for appreciating.
Don't forget to ask for
Okay, so I want. Okay, so if you're a member of the Marketing Professional Network and you're sure you stayed, see, I've done some screenshots, so be sincere. So if you're sure, if you're around yesterday and today, please, I want you to unmute yourself and make a comment.
So I was here yesterday, and
oh gosh!
Before you call me out,
Stephen.
Yes,
you stayed throughout.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Okay,
I even had some shots.
You get a copy. You get a copy of my book. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you get the certificate. The certificate for the summit paid for by me.
Thank you. Yes, for you to see that I was there yesterday. I was the first person that snapped screenshots myself and posted in our MPN network. Before Doctor and everybody that person did that. I was the first.
You know, I've been prompting you people to speak, and there was a reason for that.
Got that.
I was prompting. Now Mr. Ayo has left out the cat. Okay, so one more chance for someone.
Actually, I was there.
Okay,
I was there yesterday, and I was there yesterday. Yesterday, I started it and I finished all through, and I'm still here now. Even that's why the fact that I'm at work.
Okay,
Wow.
okay, I've gotten everything down already.
Okay,
Okay,
is it
Abiola,
also
you
a
have something
member?
to say.
I was there yesterday and I'm here today again. And I've been making comments on
Okay, yeah.
the chat forum. So, well, it's been,
Okay,
like I
so
said, like
all
I put
MPN
in the
members that are still
discussion.
there right now, all MPN members that are there yesterday and today, I will give you each a copy of my book.
Wow.
Applause.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you,
For,
Mr. Dr.
for
Dayo.
coming out now, all of you are going to tell me what you gained from this summit. That I'm the one giving out the books. Dr. Ayo has given the assurance, but I really want to make sure it gets to you. So your contributions, your experience, your everything. First, you tell me what you learned. You'll tell me what you think about the summit and what you will do with your takings. I'll follow you up back end. So tell us what the summit has been like, what you've learned, and what you're going to do with your learning. I'm writing it down, your name and what you're saying.
She's going to follow you up digitally.
I start.
Okay.
Hello.
Make sure you are saying the right thing because she's going to use cookies to be following you up digitally.
Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Madam Kachi. Thank you for the follow-up the other time. I appreciate. I'm working on them. I'm happy to be part of this summit. And though I was actually going out and attending to customers and driving out to meetings, but I had it plugged in my head listening to the teachings. So yesterday we talked about the influence of technology in marketing and operations and consumer experience. So I was able to get one or two things on that too, which I intend to learn more. So I was still rushing by. I still promised myself to come to your inbox and disturb you to learn some things because I realized that I have to upgrade and learn some new things. It will really help. So, and everything I've learned now, I've been disturbing my company HR for marketing training. So I'm still coming back to disturb you because she already gave me a go ahead to consult you for marketers training. So thank you so much. It's huge and I'm still learning.
Okay, thank you very much, Abiola. I hope you know that this is born out of Lorage Consulting.
Yes.
So we do consulting already. So you can go ahead and have a conversation with your HR. And we're there to follow up from there.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, the next person.
Hi, thank you very much. My name is Chidi Chideberute, and I will say that right from yesterday, it's been quite engaging and interesting. I mean, Mr. Sergio started it with a bang, and it continued all through to Mr. Dayo. I mean, it has really been an upward cliff. So I say thank you very much. And one thing I learned that touched me was Mr. Sergio saying yesterday, and it really shook me, that once you stop learning, you're dead. Once you stop learning, you're dead. So for us to remain relevant in every sphere of life, in our profession, we cannot stop at our degree or the trainings we did yesteryears, but we have to continue learning unless technology will take our place or the people that have actually upgraded themselves will take our place. So I've told myself, man, it's time to continue learning. I will not just stick to my profession or what I do. What is relevant this day? What is the technology that I will gain? So, I mean, I've been cracking my head and a lot of things are coming to my head. So I think that this seminar, if not for anything, has really challenged me, and it has kicked my backside that I need to do something. I mean, thank you very much, Rolash. Thank you, MPN, for making this possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your taking. As you know, MPN is all
Kathy, can I
about
say
learning.
something?
Okay, Rubina, please.
Thank you so much for myself, from my team, Akshan, Vakat, for arranging such a wonderful summit. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues when we turned on the cam, so there was some audio. The quality was compromised, so I was afraid to turn on the cam. So hope you understand. So definitely that was really when that audience to participate and listen to incredible speakers, and that added to learning curve. So thank you once again to Dr. Ayo, Diego, Paul, Terry, everyone who was a part of this summit, and we look forward to collaborate. What amazing, you people, amazing people like you, and future as well. Thank you so much, and goodbye.
Yeah, it's also wonderful collaborating with you. It's been awesome having you make out time from your tight schedule to come and be with us. We really do appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Diane is still on the platform in case you have questions. Hi, Rubina, finally got to see your face. I caught you for that second. Okay, so
at one time only one thing worked. Either cam or microphone. So that's why we could not have. So the voice quality was dropped. So sorry for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rubina.
Thank you.
Okay.
God bless you.
So, yeah, I want to remind you that Dio IN is still on the platform if you have questions and appreciation. And because we are running out of time, we have opportunity for just 2 more people from YMPM. Grab it. 2 more people. Fastest finger.
MPN.
Oh, from MPN. Fastest finger. Okay, I'm counting down.
Well, it's yesterday.
Stephen,
today.
I don't want you again.
I get the point.
Okay, 2 more people.
Is MPN.
Jumoke, I have you. Mr. Moses is saying thank you. Mr. Moses, thank you very much. You're one of us. It was a wonderful session when we had storytelling, knowledge sharing session with you. We really appreciate you for that, and appreciate you for staying through for this summit. Okay. X4. Okay, X4, please, I'd like to have your name because you've really been trying to get through. X4, you can unmute. Okay. Godia, you can unmute and speak.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
all right.
We can.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Haruna Godia. I registered for this summit. Let me see, I just came across it and then I registered for it just to and due to work, unfortunately, yesterday I wasn't able to attend the session. But for today, I was able to attend from the beginning up to this point. And I think I really enjoyed my time. I learned a lot from the first session with Paul Akinola. In fact, I've connected with him on LinkedIn and we're already getting to know ourselves better. Thank you for that opportunity. So I think I've learned a lot, and from this last session with Dayo, I was able to pick up some things about digital marketing that I never knew, and I feel is a field that I can even venture into to make myself, to build, to create value, and make money, right? So my major takeaway from this session was about managing my personal data, like where he was talking about information, where you just sign up for some things and then you just click giving content without knowing. Yeah, that's on one side. I've learned how to manage my data, and whenever I'm signing up for things, I know what to do. And then the other steps he taught, really, I enjoyed the session because he was very calm. If you see my response, he was subtle and very powerful in what he was just saying. So I think the last part where he talked about, I think majorly where he talked about marketing, remarketing, and stuff. I think I picked up points there where for my own personal, in terms of business, I can do that. Not even when I may be managing someone's business, but mine as myself. So generally, I would say the sessions were really good. From the first session with Paul Akinola up to the one with Dayo, and it was nice having you guys. Thank you very much for this session. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Godia. Thank you for the action you've taken to follow up Mr. Paul on LinkedIn. That shows you're intentional about your growth and knowledge and search for knowledge. Okay, so we have the last person. Sorry if I didn't read your name well. But please, you can unmute. And one more thing, I'm going to call out the people we've got their name written down, and we'll appreciate it if you go to your LinkedIn page and screenshot yourself, go to your LinkedIn page, talk about the summit, tag me, tag YMPM Network, and tag Dr. Ayo Adeyemi, and we'll get back to you. So, okay, we have someone else ready to speak. Who is taking the last slot?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adegbemi. I actually saw this summit on one of the WhatsApp group I belong to. Initially, I was skeptical about the summit because when it comes to all this download of a thing, I'm always very careful. I did a download some times ago and my phone just crashed. So, but yes,
so sorry about that.
Due to my busy schedule, I was not able to. Yeah, I was not able. Thank you. I was not able following all the facilitators, and I have actually learned a lot. There are some things I see every day. It's never registered in my brain. Thanks to Dayo Ayeni, he really talked about a lot of things like persuasive technology, user experience, consumer behavior. I learned a lot. So I would like to become a member, and I also don't know if there is probably a WhatsApp group or something that we can always follow up on, so that it doesn't have to be every year of a thing that's after all this session, then everybody will go to our way or something. So,
okay, thank
but
you.
if there's any other thing I would like to know about the.
Okay, thank you very much for taking the risk. I'll use that word, risk, of registering with us after your previous experience. Hello? Hello? Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Please, I want to know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, so thank you very much for taking the risk to register with us after your previous experience. Yes, you can join the Marketing Professional Network by simply take down my number and send me a message, and I'll join you to add you to the group. We have a knowledge sharing session every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. We bring in people from different aspects of marketing to come and join. So I'm putting down my number on the chat room. Yeah, that is my number. Please take it down if you're not a member of the Marketing Professional Network, and reach out to me, and I'll link you up with the group on WhatsApp, and you'll be a part of us and enjoy the things that we've been enjoying. It's been wonderful. And also, please, for our materials, these videos are not a one-off thing, as in this summit is not a one-off thing. I shared with you testimonies from last year when someone told me that she got a job because she was asked a patient that was meant to be tough, but she was able to trash it because of all she's been getting from the platform. Someone else also had to call me, that was in March this year. We had our summit last year, and someone called me this year requesting for his certificate again, that he couldn't find it. He needed it for a job application, and now he's gotten himself a new job. And to let you know how important the certificates are, how possible it is to help you in gaining your way to your next level. So, okay, oh, sorry, I think, I mistakenly sent the number to the wrong place. Okay, 081-08222-414. Okay, I've sent it on a general chat room. Okay, so our certificates are available. Send us an email. You all have got emails from us. The certificates, the PowerPoint slides, and the recorded version is all available to you at the token of 10,000 naira. Please listen and listen and listen again. Play them. Go through the slides. Keep yourself in touch. You have to keep learning. That's what YMPN is. And I really want to appreciate everybody. I want to appreciate all our speakers, especially. I want to first of all appreciate Dr. Ayo. Please, can you in the chat room say a big thank you to Dr. Ayo for affecting the dream that is affecting lives. I need us to say a big thank you to Dr. Ayo. Thank you, Yad. Thanks for coming. I really do appreciate. He's really been transforming our career life through this marketing professional platform. I want to say a big thank you to all the speakers who made up time to come. We are riding on goodwill. And yeah, the best thing you can do for us is to put all this into practice. The best thing you can do for us is to let us know the testimonies. Send us the feedbacks of what you've been doing with it. And also, please, go on your LinkedIn page and share your takings from this summit.
Okay, Jomo. Yes.
Okay, so Zainab, thank you, Zainab Asaf. It was a wonderful session with you. Thank you, Dayo Ayeni. Thank you all, Akinola. A big thank you to where are all our speakers? A big thank you to Vegas Reina, Professor Vegas Reina. A big thank you to Sergio Ferraz, and thank you also to all the panel members. Thank you to our moderators. Thank you very much to our members. Thank you a big thank you actually to people who are not members of the institute or are not members of Marketing Professional Network that registered. I'll say big thank you to those that came in from flour mills of Nigeria. Thank you to all those that came from UAC. Thank you for those that came from other institutions here, because we reached out to some companies and they sent in people. Thank you very, very much. And at this point, we've come to the end of the summit, and we really appreciate you all. Thank you, and God bless.
Nobody said thank Nobody said thank you to Kachi now. So let me do the thank you now.
Kachi, thank you very much.
Can anybody rush in on the comments now? Say thank you to. She's appreciated every other person. She didn't appreciate herself.
Kachi.
So can we rush in on the comments before we log off? I say thank you to Kachi for being wonderful and the don't understand what happened at the back end.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Madam, thanks, Madam on the top.
Thank you. That was Madam on the top. Thank you, everyone. Please let's go to our WhatsApp group and blow the trumpets. Go to the WhatsApp group. Make those that didn't come. Yeah, no plastic. keep the platform busy. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate you all. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Next year on our next summit. Bye.
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 Please send the number again. Your number. Hello, ma.
Okay.
Your number, yes.
That.
No one thought that I would ever come when everything was telling me that it was over. Still there was a fire burning in my heart. There were days I felt like I was at my lowest. I pushed so hard I couldn't see beyond the pain. I never knew I made it high enough to notice I'm getting closer, stronger than I've ever been. I believe that I'm unstoppable. I believe I've only just begun. I will conquer, I will fly, reach my peak, I will. And there's nothing that can ever bring me down. I am living proof that nothing is impossible. I beat the odds when hope was nowhere to be found. There was a strength that carried me through every obstacle. It lets me know that it's too late to give up now. And I am not afraid to climb another mountain, to risk it all, to face my deepest, darkest fear, to live a dream much bigger than I can imagine. Cause I want the world to know that I am here. I believe that I'm unstoppable. I believe I've only just begun. everything I hope to be. I am one step closer to the finish line. I know that every stride would lead me to my destiny, and I'm one reach away from taking what is mine.